Hello, and welcome to Bosco Football on Spreaker.com's own national sports. Veterans Stadium in Long Beach, California is the site for round 2 of the CIF Southern Section Playoffs as the St. John Bosco Braves take on the Tesoro Titans. This game is presented by Tam's Pizzeria in Bellflower, California.
The Braves get the football at the 25, and they know what they have to do. But right now, it's in the hands of Rosen. Walker's up the middle, runs into the end zone all by himself. He was never touched. Nobody got a hand on him. In he goes from 25 yards out.
The St. John Bosco Braves, 11-0 on the season, know a thing or two about late-game heroics. But so do the Tesoro Titans. Located in Rancho Santa Margarita, this team is less than 2 years removed from taking down the Servite Friars and winning this Pac-5 division. And now led in 2013 by a youth movement, it is up to John Rivera and the Titans to take down St. John Bosco, the number 1 seed in the Trinity League.
From the gun, plenty of time to survey the field, trips right, 4 down for the Matadors. This will be a give to Rivera. He tries the right side. In for 6. There's touchdown, Tesoro.
There's the call. Takes it to the house.
Live from Veterans Stadium in Long Beach, California, Nick Rice, Adam Ferrister, Travis Neff, and your host, Chris Sylvester, for the Bosco Braves and the Tesoro Titans. CIF Southern Section Round 2 of the Pac-5 playoffs starts right now.
A pleasant good evening, everybody. Alongside Adam Ferrister and Nick Rice, I'm Chris Sylvester at Veterans Memorial Stadium in the beautiful city of Long Beach, California for the second round CIF Pac-5 playoffs between the St. John Bosco Braves and the Tesoro Titans. Last week, both of these teams had no problems with their first fight. The Braves are looking to knock the Titans out of the postseason for the second consecutive year. But to do that, Nick, the Braves will have to slow down John Rivera.
Well, something has to give tonight. John Rivera with 5 rushing touchdowns last week. He is the catalyst for this ball club. And for these Tesoro Titans, it's going to be a case of ground and pound. If the Bosco Braves have one weakness, if they have anything at all that they struggle with, it's that time of possession. They have, in the last couple weeks, given up a lot of time to their opponents. And if they can grind out that defense, Chris, they might have a chance.
And for the Braves, Shea Fields reeled in 224 passing yards last week, tying a school record. Adam, will the Titans be able to slow him down here tonight?
It'll be a struggle, but if the defensive line can get pressure on Rosen so Shea Field does not have time to get open, I think they have a very good shot at slowing him down, not stopping. I don't think anyone in CIF will be able to stop Shea Fields, but hopefully they can try to slow him down tonight.
Well, we're just about set here from Veterans Memorial Stadium in Long Beach, California. Reed Budrovich set to kick it off for the Braves. The Braves won the toss and elected to defer. Budrovich's kick is a high one, and it's going to be caught at the 1-yard line. Tesoro will bring it out, and it's going to be a return to about the 23-yard line, and that is where Devin Modster and the Tesoro offense will take over.
Includes Jake Smeltzer, Michael Saldivar, Josh Nelson, and Gunnar Gam. The beefy guys up front include Zach Hickman, Jed Encarnacion, Nick Fehrenbach, Leo Rodriguez, and Nick Zamitz. They round out your offensive line.
So Modster and the Tesoro touchdowns last week against Cabrillo, and he'll be stopped after a gain of 2 that time. Bosco's been good at stopping the run all year, but they're seeing a very talented back in John Rivera here tonight. The 205-pound senior will definitely be a load for St. John Bosco on the defensive end. Out of the gun comes Modster. Tesoro moving quickly in that offense, and the pass is going to be complete out to Michael Saldivar, the 180-pound senior, but it will be short of the first down marker. A third down upcoming quickly here for Tesoro.
Where they're going that no-huddle offense, a lot like what the Bosco Braves run, and they're going 5 or 4 wide every play, which is stretching out this defense.
Pistol set here for Tesoro. Back to pass his monster. He has time, and it's almost intercepted. Christian Holland had it bounce right off of his chest, but it falls to the ground incomplete. And a great defensive stand here for the Braves. Tesoro will be forced to punt.
Just not looking at where the defender was, trying to force a pass in there, and it almost got picked off. And if Christian Holland picked that off, he was gone, and he would have had a pick six easily.
Back to punt here for Tesoro is going to pick it up at the 26. He's going to try to find his way to the outside. Wadoud cutting up the middle, and he's finally taken down at the 36-yard line. So pretty good field position here for Josh Rosen and the Bosco offense, who put up 69 points last week against the Aguara Chargers.
And they scored on nearly every possession, including, I believe it was all of their possessions in the first half. So coming out here today, what the Tesoro Titans want to do is force them to run the football. Last week, the Braves, with a whole bunch of yards passing the football, including a lot to Shea Fields and 5 passing touchdowns by Josh Rosen. We'll see if they can contain him tonight.
Out of the gun comes Rosen, and it's going to be the handoff to McGrew to open it up here for St. John Bosco, but it'll only get about 1 on the play. A great job closing in by the Tesoro defensive line. Let's meet the defensive starters for the Titans.
The Titan defensive front includes Jack Barris, Michael McKesey, Jake Hudson, and dual threat Nick Fehrenbach. Linebackers Josh Reynolds, Grant Bennett, and Brixton Pizzuti. Defensive backs Jacob Griffin, Mitchell Bland, Tristan Kafensis, and Matt Adams. Rounds out your Titan defense.
Screen pass out to Shea Fields. Shea Fields is down the sidelines. Touchdown Braves. Excuse me, that was Jaleel Wadoud, but he goes 61 yards, and Bosco strikes first. How about that? Right as we're announcing the defensive lineups, that's how quick Bosco's offense moves. And with 10:16 left to go in the first quarter, the Braves strike first.
Yeah, well, this is a beleaguered secondary for this Tesoro defense. All year long, they've struggled to stop the pass, as we see one more time. They gave up a huge comeback last week as they could not stop that Jaguar offense. And after the extra point, it's going to be 7-0. Jaleel Wadoud is lost in the big plays. We're going to have a flag down, but Jaleel Wadoud is lost in the Shea Fields bonanza last week. He's also a very good receiver in and of himself. Catches a touchdown there.
I've talked about it a lot in pregame games, and what I was saying is you double cover Shea Fields, who had a great game last week, and now you leave Jaleel Wadoud wide open with man coverage. And if you try to double up on Jaleel and double up on Shea, there's definitely going to be other receivers open.
So with 10:16 left to go here in the first quarter, Bosco strikes on his 61-yard passing play. It was a screen pass that time from Rosen to Wadoud. We've seen that play all season long, successful for the Bosco offense. Here we are in week 12 of the high school football season, and it continues to just stifle the defense.
Yeah, this is a bigger Tesoro defense that the Bosco Braves are looking at, and fortunately for that offense, they got a bunch of sports cars out wide that are just racing down the sideline week in and week out. Those screen passes are so deadly. Last week they decided to take deep shots to Shea Fields. This week the game plan was to run. It was to ground and pound up the middle and to take their shots on screen passes, not give Josh Rosen a whole lot of room for error. Reed Budrovich set to kick off after a 7-0 Bosco lead. Only, what is that? That is less than 2 minutes elapsed. 1:44 into the first quarter. It's already 7-0 in Veterans Stadium. Budrovich about an 80% kickoff to touchback ratio. We saw a return last time, about nearly The tackling leader in the Trinity League is going to have a say against that, as they're going to set up on their second drive deep in their own territory. Tesoro will. Devin Modster, the all-pro quarterback, has a lot of work to do.
Yes, he does. He's going against possibly the best defense you've seen all season long tonight. Of course, Tesoro has played Mission Viejo as well. The screen pass is going to be incomplete, intended for Jake Smeltzer, the junior wide receiver. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
That was just a good split. You had 4 guys go on the right side of the field and 3 go on the left, and those guys were able to stop the screen. It was a fake one-way and came back, and it was a stop right there and to incomplete pass.
2nd and 10 here for Tesoro, here at the Tesoro 15-yard line. Tesoro not the only one making mistakes here early.
Right, absolutely.
2nd and 10 for Modster. It's a 3-receiver set, all of them out to the right. The man in motion is Jake Smeltzer, and it's going to be the run with John Rivera, and he's going to be taken down in the backfield. Loss of 6 that time. That's Damian Mama and Emery Sefo, who usually play offensive line for the Braves, getting in on the quarterback, Devin Modster. A 3rd and long faced here by Tesoro.
Yeah, Modster, that's a 4-yard loss. Don't get fooled. Modster is compared by a lot of his teammates to the next Randall Cunningham. He came into high school trying to play for Mission Viejo just like his brother did. He ended up going over to Tesoro, is a fantastic quarterback, the only sophomore on this ball club starting for the Tesoro Titans, and is a fantastic talent. I mean, a lot of Division I recruits are looking at this young man here for Tesoro.
And he's only a sophomore. He's back to pass here, and he's pressured, and he's going to be taken down right by the goal line. But unfortunately for Tesoro, he's taken down at the 1. And it'll be an ugly 4th and 25 here for the Titans, and they will be punting out of their own end zone. 9:05 left to go here in the first quarter. Bosco already up 7-0. It's getting uglier quicker than we expected here at Vets.
Yes, it is, and this is a very dangerous punt back in your own end zone. If it's a bad snap, then you can guarantee either 2 points or 7 for St. John Bosco.
Well, it's going to be Tesoro punting from the end zone, and they do get it off. Wadood back to receive it once again. It's going to take a Bosco hop to the Tesoro 40-yard line, and that is where it will be downed, as Wadood will not touch it. So Josh Rosen and the Bosco offense, last offensive drive, 2 plays, 63 yards. Here they start at the Tesoro 40-yard line. If you're the Titans, you can't make it this easy for the Braves.
Boy, absolutely not. And the Bosco Braves have been living on this side of the football all season long. Josh Rosen, another fantastic quarterback. He's only a junior, and he's getting offers from the Division I level. This offense runs through this quarterback.
Trips left for the Braves. It's going to be that screen pass that they scored on earlier, this time to Shea Fields. Fields gets to the outside. He's still on his feet inside the 30, inside the 25, inside the 20, and he's going to be taken down all the way at the Tesoro 15-yard line. Gain of 25 that time on a simple screen pass. That just shows you how good the blockers are for St. John Bosco.
Not just how good the blockers are, but how explosive the receivers are and how they can make plays for themselves. Blocking is very good, but it was the receiver, Shea Fields, that time who made the play happen.
Bosco in the red zone here once again. They already lead 7-0 over Tesoro with 8:05 left to go. First quarter from Veterans Memorial Stadium. It's a 2-back set with Wadood and McGrew. Wadood's in motion. It's going to be the screen pass out to Wadood in motion from the backfield. Wadood's down the sidelines. He's into the end zone. Touchdown Braves. Wadood, his second touchdown catch of the night. And with 7:55 left to go in the first quarter, it's too easy for the Braves. It's 13-0.
Boy, this defensive backfield is certainly showing its struggles. It's been a mishmash unit, and they show it there. 2 catches, how about that? 2 touchdowns for the Braves, and we're looking at a 14-point deficit. More points that the Bosco Braves have scored in this stadium in the first 4 minutes than they scored all of last time they were here.
Absolutely. If you do not remember, last time the Braves played here at Veterans Memorial Stadium back in 2012, their season ended with a 13-10 loss to the eventual CIF Southern Section champion Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits, 13-10. But a little bit of a different story here against a good Tesoro team, but nowhere near the level that Long Beach Poly was last year when they took on the Braves at this very venue.
No, not at the same level there, and Braves definitely won't see a team as good as that level until at least the next round, maybe even to the championship, we'll see. But right now they have this game under control, but it can slip away very quick. But it kind of seems like a little bit of deja vu this time. Shea Fields was the man who had 2 catches, 2 touchdowns last week, and now it's Jaleel Wadood with 2 catches, 2 touchdowns.
Well, you talk about Jaleel Wadood. It's been an extremely tough week for him. Got a lot of heat from decommitting from Cal this week, his second decommitment. He was originally committed to Arizona State, decommitted from being a Sun Devil, committed to Cal over the summer, and recently decommitted this past Tuesday. He's down to USC and UCLA, but a fine young man, a fine young football player, has 2 touchdown catches here for Bosco tonight. The Braves lead 14-0, 7:55 to go here in the first quarter as Budrovich is going to boot it off for the 3rd time tonight, and it'll go back into the end zone for a touchback. So your Devin Monster and the Tesoro offense here, 7:55 left to go in the first quarter. Still plenty of time to put up points in this game, but you're already down 14-0, and your offense has gained negative yardage so far on the first 2 offensive drives.
Well, the goal is to move forward. Just move some chains and chew up some clock. That was the goal going into this game, and it's kind of slipped away. And to quickly touch on Jaleel Wadood, that talks a lot about USC, a fantastic ball club in and of itself, helping that transfer.
Well, the opening handoffs here are going to go to John Rivera, and John Rivera lost the football. It's on the ground, and the referees say St. John Bosco has it. Jacob Tuioti Mariner, the senior defensive lineman, comes out of the pile with the football. And with 7:49 left to go here at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Long Beach, California, Bosco already up 14-0. They get the ball at the Tesoro 21 after Jacob Tuioti Mariner recovers his 2nd fumble of the season.
Boy, oh my goodness, this has been an ugly first quarter. I would have bet my mother, I'm telling you, that the Tesoro Titans wouldn't have let this quarter of a lead slip in the first quarter. Oh my goodness.
Out of the gun comes Rosen. It's a 3-receiver set for the Braves. Jaleel Wadood already has 2 touchdown catches, the 2 Bosco scores so far here tonight. The lone back is McGrew, and they'll hand off to him. McGrew has a big hole up the middle. Nobody's going to get him. It's way too easy for St. John Bosco's offense. Touchdown, Braves.
I'm kind of at a loss for words just how dominant Bosco's offense is right now. Sean McGrew, offensive line created, and just pretty much walking into the end zone after he breaks a tackle. I am at a loss for words at how the Bosco offense has really produced so far in this game, and we still have 7:43 left in the first quarter, and it's already 20-0 with the extra point coming up, and that makes it 21-0.
So how about the St. John Bosco offense forcing Tesoro to punt from their own end zone and then recovering a fumble? Devin Monster in this offense fared very well against a decent Long Beach Cabrillo team last week, but nowhere near the level that they're seeing this week from St. John Bosco, and it's showing out on the football field. 21-0, 7:43 left to go first quarter. I don't know if anybody expected this quick of a start from the Braves.
That sideline is so deflated. I can't even see any sort of energy on that sideline. First-year head coach by the name of Matt Poster certainly got to get his act together for his football team. This is the first time he's faced a team at this level, and it is showing. That sideline looks completely flat. I can't see any sort of energy on that side, and I can't even give a way to look up here. 21-0, just like that. It's almost as if Bosco seems to have the lead from before the game's even kicked off.
Budrovich getting set to kick it off already for the 4th time here tonight. His last one went back into the end zone for a touchback. This one will be returned by the Titans, and it'll be returned out to the 22-yard line. So that's where the sophomore quarterback Devin Monster and Tesoro's offense, you'd figure, has to get it going. I'd say on this drive, you got to get 7.
Well, you got to get 1 first down. That'd be great. But here for the Tesoro Titans, they came into this game looking to run the football. They've got behind early, but don't look at But in my mind, you don't look at the scoreboard as a sign to start passing the rock. You go to your bread and butter, which has been John Rivera all year long.
John Rivera, 5 touchdowns last week against Long Beach Cabrillo, totaled 257 yards on the ground, and Modster's going to keep it here on the read option, and he'll only get a gain of about 1.5 yards that time to the right side. Chandler Lanou, the Wazoo commit, coming up on the tackle. It's a 2nd and 8 here for Tesoro. Devin Modster, only a sophomore, like you mentioned, his brother plays at Mission Viejo. Mission Viejo tied with Mater Dei right now, 7-7. We're going to have scores from all around the CIF Southern Section playoffs, especially got to focus in on those Pac-5 playoffs. Big matchup between St. Bonnie's and Long Beach Poly as well tonight. Not to forget Servite and Alemany. The pass from Modster is complete this time to Michael Saldivar, but it will be short of the first down marker, and another 3rd down awaits the Tesoro Titans. The 3rd and 3 here. They need to get it first.
Yeah, Devin Modster's looking awfully scared and timid here on this first drive, throwing underneath passes, but that just shows the sort of dominance that Bosco has, especially the intimidation that those 3 linebackers have. They're all over 200 pounds and can wreak havoc in that pass secondary.
3rd and 3 here for Tesoro on their own 30-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Rivera, and Rivera is going to be spun down right at the line of scrimmage. The Titans will not get the first down and will once again send out the punting unit. This is just a disgraceful performance so far by Tesoro. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, let us remind you that Tesoro is not a bad team. They did make it this far. It's just Bosco has been so dominant in showing it. It's making them look like Pop Warner team, like I said last week, too.
Bosco possibly looking even more impressive as they did last week when they put up 69 points on the Aguara Chargers. The punt this time is going to go out of bounds at the St. John Bosco 39-yard line, so that's where the Braves will take over. Bosco has had no trouble at all on the offensive side here tonight. 3 offensive possessions, 3 touchdowns for the Braves.
Yeah, and Tesoro's looking awfully flustered there. Matt Poston, if you're looking for how to rally the troops here on their 4th defensive series, it's got to be to prevent the big play. That's been something that they have struggled with all year long.
1st and 10, Bosco at their own 31. Rosen out of the gun. It's a play action. He's going to go deep to a wide-open Angelo Quintero. Quintero has it. He's inside the 30, and he's going to be spun down at the 20-yard line. Huge gain through the air to the senior tight end, Angelo Quintero. And here's Bosco once again in the red zone after just 1 play.
A 49-yard pickup to Angelo Quintero, I believe one of his longest catches of the season, if not the longest. Angelo Quintero, far from the fastest player on the field, but when no one covers you, it's pretty easy to gain yards.
It's going to be a play action screen pass out to Wadood. This could be dangerous. Wadood slips a tackle. Wadood to the outside, 1 man to beat. Touchdown Braves! I don't even know what to say, but with 5:31 left to go in the first quarter, the Braves 27, the Titans nothing.
I apologize. This is getting pretty hysterical as far as the defense is concerned. This performance is flat out laughable, but I do want to credit Tesoro for having the wherewithal to look at Jaleel Wadood in the backfield. They had him tangled up, and for a loss of yardage. But then we have Reed Budrovis coming off for one reason and one reason only. These receivers can make men miss like nothing else. I haven't seen such a first quarter performance as this all season long. Bosco's played a lot of different teams, a lot of different skill levels, a lot of different size mismatches, but none quite like this. 28-0. Boy, Tesoro has less yards than Bosco has touchdowns on the board tonight.
An absolutely ridiculous coming out party, if you even want to call it that, for St. John Bosco's offense, as they did.
There's only one team partying it up right there, and that's Bosco.
A party on the Braves sidelines for sure. A much different feel this time around here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. 5:31 left to go first quarter. Bosco 28-0. They lead the Tesoro Titans here. Reed Budrovich just about set to kick it off for the 5th time already here tonight. And at this rate, we will have a running clock going by the second quarter.
Yeah, and we'll have to add an extra digit for more points scored. 28-0 Bosco with 5:31 remaining in the first quarter. Pull up your high school record books because this may be a performance for the ages.
It certainly seems like it at the moment. 28-0. The Braves off to an extremely sizzling start here in Long Beach. Budrovich's kick is going to go back into the end zone for a touchback. So Modster and the Titan offense will give it another try at their own 20-yard line. But Bosco is just so much more prepared, it seems, in this game on both sides of the ball. And, boy, I don't know what to say. 28-0, 5:31 left to go, first quarter.
That's you've heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. The Bosco Braves up, and this has been a beleaguered team for a number of years. Tesoro has, especially in the coaching position. We'll get to that a little later, Chris.
Out of the gun comes Modster. It's a 4-receiver set, pistol set for the Titans. It's going to be a play action, read option, and Modster will keep to the left for a gain of 3 that time. Modster, not the quickest kid in the world, but he's a big frame at 6'4", 206. He can plow over some defenders.
Yeah, you can see why they compare him, their teammates do, to a guy like Randall Cunningham. Now, he's far from having the same accolades as that young man, but Devin Modster, the youngest player on this football team, showing his legs there. He's a powerful runner and has deceptive speed to the outside, including that cannon arm.
It's going to be a screen pass here out to John Rivera, and Rivera is across the 30 for what looks to be a Tesoro first down. That's about the loudest cheer I've ever heard for a first down in an offense's own territory. But
you can even see some of Bosco fans cheering that he picked up the first down. That's how bad it's gone for Tesoro.
Tesoro picks up their first down in the game on an 8-yard screen pass to senior running back John Rivera. 1st and 10 for the Titans. They'll give it back to Rivera, and Rivera over left tackle for just a gain of 1 that time. As great of a running back as John Rivera is, he's nowhere near the running back that's going to give St. John Bosco issues. And if the running game's ever going, certainly Bosco's defensive line outweighs Tesoro's offensive line. Second week in a row we've seen that against a non-league opponent. This time it's going to be a complete pass to Josh Nelson over the middle. That'll be good for another first down for Tesoro, so we get to see Devin Modster show off the arm a little bit here. Looks like he's got quite the gun back there in the pocket.
Oh, absolutely, and he's got a lot of young receivers, a lot of juniors playing for his receiving core there, and he makes them pay, including that John Rivera screen pass that really kick-started things.
1st and 10 for the Titans at their own 43-yard line. Rivera will get the carry, only a gain of 1 that time. Rivera's not going to get yards to the outside. The linebackers for St. John Bosco are far too quick. The only way he's going to get yards is if Tesoro's offensive line can create holes up the middle, but that's just simply not going to happen against the defensive line of the Braves, forcing Tesoro to have to go to the air early if they want to pick up yards.
And 2 middle linebackers that St. John Bosco have that will close up those holes even if the offensive line can produce them.
And the pass is incomplete, intended for Michael Saldivar. He was wide open, had a lot of green in front of him, but the pass was a little bit overthrown that time from the sophomore Modster.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen earlier, that looks a lot like Randall Cunningham, a guy who eludes 2 would-be sacks and throws a beautiful pass that the receiver just has to keep on running. That's the case where the receiver, like the rest of the team seemingly in the first quarter, is giving up on the play before it's over and throws an overhead incomplete pass. Man, Devin Modster is doing everything that he possibly can, but it's been fumbles by the running backs, and it's been quick throws complete for touchdowns that have hurt this team. Modster's played awfully well for a team down by 28, and he's going to have to keep that hot streak going here as we're towards the end of the first.
3rd and 9 here for the Titans. They're at their own 43-yard line. Bosco 28. Modster's pressured. Modster trying to get out of a sack, and he'll finally be brought down back at the original line of scrimmage by Chandler Lanou and a plethora of Braves, but a 4th and 10, down 28-0, still can't go for it here on 4th down.
Absolutely not, and you can't really blame the quarterback when you, after 1 second, have three big defensive linemen in your face. That's just it's a tough for any quarterback, let alone Modster, who has to stand in the pocket and wait for his receivers to get open deep. That's the issue when you're down by so much. You have to have your receivers get open quicker, and that's really impossible to do when you're down by this much down the field, especially on a 3rd and 10. This Tesoro team, Chris, has faced a lot of uphill battles. I mean, I was looking and was quite surprised to find this Titan team facing so much turmoil. I mean, last year, their original coach, who was awfully well, and including in his first year, brought this team to a championship in their own division, had some turmoil and was ended up fired midway through last season. Bring in Matt Poston, a 9-2 record, but nothing like what we've seen to the Braves.
It shows you how much stronger the Trinity League is compared to even strong leagues like the South Coast League. The run's going to go to Sean McGrew, and McGrew, a big gain to the outside to the 49-yard line, pickup of 14, another 1st and 10 for the Braves.
That's the offensive line just getting big holes, and McGrew being as fast as he is, getting into those holes and getting that first down.
1st and 10 for Bosco, and flags everywhere as it looks like the Titans jumped. That's something we haven't seen in a couple of weeks. I mean, the hard count worked really well in the non-league slate for St. John Bosco, but once you get to Trinity League play, teams kind of know each other a little bit better. Didn't see too many offsides penalties forced by St. John Bosco in Trinity League play, but you see Tesoro jump offsides there. It moves the ball into Titan territory once again. 1st and 5 for the Braves, and the run with Sean McGrew is going to be a play action, and a pass is going to be incomplete, intended for Jaleel Wadoud that time. Rosen's first incompletion of the night. That time, pass a little bit too hot to handle for Wadoud.
Good choice by Rosen to take the ball out of McGrew's hands. That's an option there, and he just needs to make that pass to Jaleel Wadoud. But good choice for Rosen to not hand it off to Sean McGrew, who got hit right away.
2nd and 5 for the Braves. Rosen's back to pass. It's a screen pass to Shea Fields, and there goes Fields. Fields, the USC commit, is down the sidelines. There goes number 1. He's into the end zone for another St. John Bosco touchdown.
I'm surprised because Tesoro has no clue that they're going to run the screen pass. It's like they get hit in the face, and they have no clue they're going to get hit in the same exact way again when they're up by 28-0. How can you in the world be surprised that they're going to run a screen pass? I'm at a loss for words, just like the rest of this broadcast crew is. 34-0 with 2:09 left in the first quarter. I mean, Tesoro's looking to the stands, wondering when the bus is going to get here.
I would too if I was on that Titans sideline right now. Like you said, very deflated as Budrovic's extra point is through the uprights, and with 2:09 left to go here from Veterans Memorial Stadium, we'll step aside. Bosco up big early, 35-0. The Braves lead the Titans.
Tam's Pizzeria is a proud sponsor of the St. John Bosco Football Radio Network. Tam's has it all: pizza, wings, burgers, and more. Say Braves #1 when you order any specialty pizza and receive $2 off. Call in and order at 562-925-7700. Again, 562-925-7700. Walk-ins are always welcome as Tam's is located on the corner of Bellflower and Rosecrans. Tam's Pizzeria. They have it all.
Back here in Long Beach, California at Veterans Memorial Stadium on the campus of Long Beach City College. Bosco out to one of the quickest starts I've ever seen in a football game from an offense. 35-0, the Braves lead the Tesoro Titans here in round 2 of the Pac-5 Division Playoffs presented by the CIF Southern Section. Budrovic, the Bosco kicker, will kick it off here for the Braves, and it'll be returned at the 1-yard line. That's number 23, Don Broski, and he's only going to get to the 10-yard line, only a 10-yard return. Not only has the Bosco offense and defense looked extremely good here tonight, but how about the special teams for the Braves? I mean, not too many times return men get a chance to return the football on Bosco's special teams, just because Reed Budrovic seems to kick it back into the end zone just about every time. But here tonight, Tesoro's return men have gotten a couple opportunities, but Bosco's special teams quick on them.
Not too many times you see a returner run to the 15-yard line. He's going ahead of steam straight to that defense unit. But then he gets so scared, he shuffles his feet and starts running backwards. I have never seen that before. And that just shows the intimidation of this Bosco unit. And also I want to add to Shea Field's 16th touchdown reception. How about that in a high school season? That's something you don't really hear of. He's setting records. And he didn't really have, Shea did, all that high of expectations going into this year. He expected less than 1,000 yards, not that many touchdowns. He expected just to be an average part of this receiving unit. And on that last touchdown, showed the patience and the veteran leadership out of a guy that has been around and has done it for a very long time.
It's a 2nd and 6 here for the Titans, and the pass is going to be complete. This time out to number 5, Mitchell Bland, and he'll be taken down at the 20-yard line. That looks good enough for a Tesoro first down. Sure enough, it is. So the Titans move the chains for the 3rd time here tonight. 1:17 left to go, first quarter. Bosco 35, Tesoro nothing. Nick, I know you've been watching football all your life. Have you ever seen this impressive of a start from a team?
I really, as far as the high school is concerned, I don't know if I have. It just really shows the kind of talent that they have. But on the other end, it really, I want to see the next quarter and a half for these teams as we're getting ready to end the first. I want to see the sort of guts and the wherewithal of not only this quarterback but this offensive unit to stick with the game plan, along with that coaching staff, to just stick with what has been working all year long. Sure, this game might have gotten away from you. This might not be the season for this team to move on here. I know that I'm speaking very early in the first quarter, but I want to see some sort of a effort here and some sort of a drive that shows the determination of this ball club that wants to be in this game here in the CIF playoffs. They're going to an empty set, which means this team is still ready to pass the football and get back in this game.
13 seconds left to go here in the first quarter from Veterans Memorial Stadium. The handoff will go to Rivera for a gain of 2. So a 3rd and 10 upcoming here for Tesoro. But that will be the final play of the first quarter here from Veterans Memorial Stadium. Boy, how about the Braves offense? 5 touchdowns here in the first quarter. And after one in Long Beach, it's 35-0 Bosco. They lead Tesoro.
Yeah, when I first saw that bikini top on her, she's popping right out of the South Georgia water. Thought, oh, good Lord, she had them long tan legs.
Tonight's presentation of St. John Bosco football is brought to you by Tam's Pizzeria. Deliver, call in, and order. Just walk into the corner of Bellflower and Rosecrans for Tam's Pizzeria. They have it all. And highschoolscoreboard.com. All of your updated scores, news, and statistics all at one place. To get the app and registration, log on at highschoolscoreboard.com.
Back here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, just about set to start the second quarter here in Long Beach. Bosco 35, Tesoro nothing. How about that first half for the Braves? Jaleel Wadood reeled in 3 touchdown passes. Shea Fields had 1, and Sean McGrew had a 17-yard run up the gut for St. John Bosco. That's where we stand right now, 35-0. The Braves lead the Titans of Tesoro High School. Coming into this game, like most games, we kind of hope for a good game, see if Bosco gets tested here and there. But, boy, it seems like the Titans are no match for St. John Bosco here tonight. It's just been an absolutely incredible performance on both sides of the ball for the Braves. Up 35-0 here as we start the second quarter. It's a 3rd and 10 from Tesoro from their own 20, and Monster will be sacked in the backfield. The ball appears loose, and it is picked up by a Tesoro offensive lineman. So luckily for the Titans, they don't turn it over once again, but that once again they'll be forced to punt from their own end zone.
Yeah, this crowd has been 50-degree night, and we've seen a lot of different style of plays here, a lot of fast breaks for the Bosco Braves, a team that's going to send a heck of a lot of players to the Division I level this coming year. A punt that's going out of bounds, and like all night long, Bosco has lived in Tesoro territory. They do it one more time. Just a first quarter performance to remember. 35 points, 5 passing touchdowns, and just a night to remember if this game were to end already. But we still have more football to be played. And we mentioned this team coming into the game was at a disadvantage. But it seemed to me like that same sort of shock until the second half.
Out of the gun, here comes Rosen. Bosco will start at the Tesoro 25, and Rosen's going to be sacked. That's number 88, Jack Byers, the senior, getting in on the sack there for Tesoro. So finally a positive on the defensive side of the ball for the Titans as they sack the star junior quarterback of the Braves here for a loss of 6.
Well, it actually was a Nick Fehrenbach. And the thing is, he plays both ways and is only a junior. That's a fantastic interior lineman. He's listed at 220, but looks all of 250, especially in this cold weather.
The Titans. That's number 1. Tristan Kafanitsits taking it to the 42-yard line of Tesoro. Rosen throws a pick that was tipped in the secondary by the Titans, and some life finally from that Tesoro sideline.
No, we mentioned for the Josh Rosen-led Braves, it's been a passing offense that has really gotten out of whack here in the last couple of weeks, a beleaguered offensive unit that really hasn't given Josh Rosen a whole heck of a lot of time here. And Josh Rosen throws his 5th interception in 3 weeks. He has really struggled, and based off of that, Tesoro has some sort of a pulse here. They need to get things going in the passing game.
Tesoro will start at their own 40. Best field position they've had all day, and the screen pass is going to be complete out to John Rivera, a pickup of 7 that time on the air through the screen pass. But how about that pick? Rosen threw a bullet over the middle intended for Wadud, but threw into triple coverage that time, something you just can't do.
Yeah, questionable call. I do like John Rivera here for the Tesoro Titans, though. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can do everything. He's a goal line back, receive the football, and he has one of the top-end speeds here on this Tesoro unit. Another sack here by this Bosco. I do like John Rivera, though. He's just he's a talent as far as overall dual purpose goes. We don't see a whole lot of those. It's very hard to find a running back in this level who can catch the football, run down on the goal line, and run in between the 20s. A fantastic ball carrier who had 5 touchdowns last week, but not the same when you go against Bosco here at home.
Veterans Memorial Stadium, 9:12 left to go. Second quarter, the Braves he'll only get about 4 that time on the ground, and once again, Tesoro will be forced to send out their punting unit. It just has not been fun at all for the Titans here tonight, as Bosco figures to get some pretty good field position once again after this punt from the Titans. Brett Baldwin back to return for the Braves. Weeks ago, his only Division I offer so far, but not a guy who you'd expect to get a Division I offer. Worked really hard the last couple of seasons. He'll catch it at the gain of about 22 that time from Brett Baldwin, but this one could potentially be coming back as we see a late flag fly in from the officials. Did you see anything that time, Nick?
I am seeing one thing. I'm seeing Jacob Taloti Mariner just flat out dominate. He's had a couple tackles for losses. He's had a sack. Offense in between the 20s, but once they get close, things have really bogged down, and it's starting to become a theme here in the playoffs. just like last year, Bosco, when it comes to playing at home, they are a dominant ball club.
8:22 left to go. Second quarter here from Veterans Memorial Stadium. 35-0 Bosco leads Tesoro. The Braves 5 touchdowns in that first quarter. Have not yet been forced to punt here tonight, but last offensive drive, junior quarterback Josh Rosen was picked off by Mitchell Bland, the senior. The handoff here to Sean McGrew, and McGrew has room to the outside. He's a speedster as he cuts to the 37 and has another St. John Bosco first down, gain of 17 on the ground that time from the sophomore running back.
What's very impressive and is lost in this 1,000-yard running back is how impressive these offensive receivers are blocking for their star running back. A brilliant play by Shea Fields and Jaleel Wadood, sealing off Tristan Kavensis and Matt Adams, the DBs, and sealing room for their running back. An incomplete pass. Rosen has looked a little bit flustered here in the second. A couple of off-target throws and incomplete passes and even an interception on the last drive really has me to believe that Josh Rosen we have seen a better quarterback out of number 3.
Certainly have, although he does have 4 touchdowns through the air here tonight, but a lot of that can go attributed to the receivers as they are just simple screen passes, as this one right here is a screen pass intended for Jaleel Wadood, but once again, Rosen looking erratic on that pass. It's going to be a 3rd and 10 here for the Braves, but that one well over the head of Jaleel Wadood.
Yeah, I can't understand why Josh Rosen will have this incredibly hot streak. Well, he'll throw it right into the breadbasket of all of his receivers. He's a very accurate quarterback, and then he'll have an extremely long cold streak where he can't throw it to the bright side of a barn. I mean, this guy sometimes is so far off. I can't even compare him to the quarterback he was in the first quarter. He hasn't even completed a pass yet, but to the chagrin of the Tesoro Titans, even though he's throwing wayward balls, it's still complete for his it's still getting them yardage as they have another flag for 5 yards.
3rd and 5 here for St. John Bosco. They're at the Tesoro 33-yard line. They lead 35-0 here with 7:58 left to go in the second quarter. It's a pass complete out to Shea Fields. He slips a tackle, still on his feet, inside the 20, inside the 10, and he's finally dragged down at the 8-yard line. So, despite Josh Rosen really struggling with passes over the middle, he's lucky to have a receiving core as talented as he does, because they're really helping him with yards after the catch.
Yes, he is. Rosen barely has to. He just has to throw it in the vicinity, and his receivers will catch it.
Screen pass outside to Shea Fields. Shea Fields dives for the pylon, and he will be marked into the end zone. Touchdown, Braves. A late call that time from the official, but he puts both hands in the air. That's how it's been for the Bosco crowd so far here tonight with 7:40 left to go in the second quarter. It's all Braves, 41-0.
Shea Fields, his 16th receiving touchdown in less than 12 games. We're at 11.5 in this one, and the extra point will make it 42-0 in favor of the Bosco Braves. Boy, we're going to talk a little bit in the halftime report, Chris, about how brilliant this coaching staff has been over the last couple of years, as this was a doormat. Bosco ended up being a sizable opponent for not only the Trinity League, but for the state of California. We'll get to that and much more on the halftime report presented by High School Scoreboard, as we'll also have updates from around the rest of the Trinity League and the Pac-5. You're listening to the Bosco Braves on the National Sports Radio station. Stay tuned right after this quick message and a word from your local stations.
Is your hometown team away for the playoffs this week? Are you looking for a new way to keep tabs on any and all of your favorite ball clubs playing Friday nights? If the answer is yes, we have an extremely easy way for you and all of your friends to keep track of every high school team in the nation. Download the High School Scoreboard app, HS Scoreboard. This application comes with scores, stats, and stories from every team thanks to our statisticians live at every stadium, providing you with play-by-play action of the game you couldn't make it to. Spend your Friday night having fun and doing what you waited all week to get done. Let us do the dirty work, and you can still be at the stadium on your phone. Download the app, High School Scoreboard. It's available for all smartphones and is the best 99 cents you will ever spend. Less than $1. That's it. High School Scoreboard. The app gives you access to features on Instagram as well. High School Scoreboard. What are you waiting for? Download it now.
7:40 left to go, second quarter here from Veterans Memorial Stadium on the campus of Long Beach City College. The St. John Bosco Braves out to a huge lead, 42-0. Boy, we're performing like Tesoro up here right now, aren't we? 42-0 though. Nonetheless, really nonetheless, the Braves lead the Titans 42-0. 7:40 left to go here. Second quarter. It's going to be a screen pass out to number 85, Jeff Webster, but it'll be taken down after only a gain of 2 that time. You love that play, don't you, Nick?
Yeah, that's a lot like what I mean. I'm not speaking as a San Diego fanatic, but I was a long-time North Turner fan until he actually entered the building. But one play that he does like to do is that play-action rollout will go to the right side, have his entire receiving threats go to the right, and then one tight end spill out to the left-hand side, throws it for a good pickup. Devin Modster has a nice little play here going.
It's going to be Modster on the keeper this time, and he'll barrel his way forward to the 27-yard line, about 3 yards short of the sticks, and it'll be a 3rd and 3 upcoming here for Tesoro. At the high school scoreboard, halftime report, we'll have scores from Mission Viejo Mater Dei, Poly St. Bonaventures, and, of course, Servite Alemany. Presuming St. John Bosco holds on to this 42-0 lead throughout the remainder of this game, they will play the winner next week between Servite and Alemany. The site of that game is to be determined. I think it's based on who wins between Servite and Alemany, but here, Tesoro is faced with a 3rd and 3 on their own 27-yard line. They've only picked up 4 first downs on offense here tonight. Devin Modster, the talented sophomore quarterback for the Titans, has been shut down, as well as number 9, John Rivera. He's been shut down as well after running for 257 yards last week. No gain that time on the carry. A 4th and short here for Tesoro. And sure enough, once again, the Titans will be forced to send out the punting unit. And, boy, this kid's punting more than Agora did. I mean, not like Agora had all that much trouble on offense last week, but I want to go back to the last time Bosco's defense really played a heck of a game. You want to talk about that Jay Serra game. Remember that Jay Serra game? We talked about the punter about, seems, 50,000 times.
Yeah, it was the Bosco game was a punter biography. It's a nice punt here. It's going to be returnable. No, they're going to end up fair catching it. I don't like Jaleel Wadood, how he always lets that thing bounce. I mean, just pick up the ball and run with it. I mean, in that case, just be your own blocker. BYOB. Pick up the ball and run with it, man. I mean, how can I get mad with this kind of a score? But Jaleel Wadood, come on now.
Well, you can't really fault him all that much. He's a spectacular player, goes both ways for the Braves, plays safety and wide receiver. Decommitted from Cal this week. Between USC and UCLA, we have some inside sources, per se, that say he's leaning towards Ed Orgeron's Trojans after that victory over Stanford last week.
Yes, he is. That was a big game for him. He really liked seeing that. He saw that, and he affected his decision as far as he tells us. So it'll be interesting to see where he decides up. But right now it seems like he's leaning more towards Ed Orgeron's Trojans.
Those Trojans relevant once again, according to Brent Musburger, after a 20-17 victory over the Stanford Cardinal, a top 10 ranked team this past weekend. A big win for Southern California fans in general, as Josh Rosen's going to be pressured and is just going to throw this one away incomplete. 3rd and 10, so the Titans slowing up the Bosco offense here a bit, but Josh Rosen, once again, I mean, we thought we'd see a different guy, a guy with a little bit more confidence after the game he put up last week against Agora, but this is the same kid we saw the last 2 weeks of Trinity League play, just very inconsistent throwing the football.
Yeah, the 2 touchdowns and 4 picks in 2 weeks against the Trinity League is not going to get it done here, especially when you're facing teams in the playoffs. And it's going to be another quarterback sack. Boy, how about that? Nick Fehrenbach, I believe, got to the quarterback one more time. He's been the man on this defensive line, if anything else. if there's any bright spot of a 42-0 deficit here in the first half, it's going to be Nick Fehrenbach, a guy who's going to come back next year, along with 11 other returners for this Tesoro Titan team. Sure, you can look at this game that has gotten away from you, but the youth movement, I've been so impressed following all the drama that came with Brian Barnes getting midway through the season. If you don't have enough details on that, late in the league, late in their season last year, late in Tesoro's season last year, during a late round game, Tesoro was set to receive a kick, and what they did was their main returner ended up going up and unnecessarily laying out the opponent's kicker. It was sort of like a unnecessary hit that almost sent the kicker to the hospital. He ends up being fined, and the only guy that's being sent out of town is the head coach, Brian Barnes. But a guy that comes in, Matt Poston, and has really helped this team win and win often. 9-2 overall, including 3-1 in their very tough league. I tip my cap off to a guy that had to come in, off the dot. I mean, he's been around Tesoro for a while. Tesoro located in Rancho Santa Margarita, but Matt Poston was put in a tough situation following a team that has already won and won often. I mean, Brian Barnes went 47-23. That's about a 75% win percentage. And Tesoro, we haven't seen the same team, but this is a great Titan team that went 9-2 this year.
Well, it's been a crazy last couple of seasons for the Tesoro Titans, but once again, they have overcome adversity here in the second round of the playoffs, but not much of a fight they're putting up tonight against St. John Bosco. It's 42-0. The Braves lead, 4:10 to go here in the second quarter from Veterans Memorial Stadium. The handoff here is going to go to John Rivera, and that looks like it'll be enough for a Tesoro first down to the Titan 47. So let's see if the Titans, for the first time today, 3 yards away from Brave territory, can get there. That's how tough it's been for Tesoro.
Yeah, they have never been there, too. Tesoro has spent their entire first half in their own territory. That was the case last week when Aguara, outside of one touchdown drive, spent the entire first half on their own end of the field. I mean, you can't look at this game and blame the defense when offensively you've punted the ball every time you've got the football.
First and 10 here for the Titans at their own 47-yard line. It'll be Modster keeping to the outside. Modster into St. John Bosco territory, and Modster has himself a Titan first down all the way to the St. John Bosco 38. So Devin Modster, like I said, not the quickest kid in the world, but he's a big guy, and he's hard to bring down. That time had to be forced out of bounds, but not before the Titans picked up a first down.
Yeah, Devin Modster has some quick speed and a guy that can really elude in traffic, a guy that I really believe is going to up and come as one of the elites. We'll see Devin Modster at the next level. Mark it down, barring some huge dramatic change of events. Look for Devin Modster, who was going to go to Mission Viejo, ends up going to Tesoro. Look at him being at the NCAA level, just like our man at the other side that we've talked a lot about here in this first half, Jaleel Wadood, USC commit.
Certainly, this football field tonight littered with Division I prospects, but the ones who are really showing out are the ones on the Bosco Braves sidelines, 42-0. Adam, I didn't get a chance to ask you this, I only asked Nick this earlier, but have you ever in your life seen a football game such as this one when an opponent hopped out this quickly in front of the opposition?
No, I definitely haven't. It was just a complete dominant performance by Bosco. I think the only thing that would compare even close was the first game Bosco played there, which, I don't know, it still wasn't as dominant as this.
Boy, talk about the first game. Bosco didn't even put up 42 points in that game against Dominguez.
They didn't put up the 42, but it was still the dominant performance, not with the same scores, but just with the same overpowering the opposition. Now they're doing more of the showing more points on the scoreboard here because Dominguez didn't really give them the chance to get the ball that much, but they still dominate in the same way they're doing in this second round of CIF.
Boy, St. John Bosco just absolutely thumping the Titans right now. It's a 3rd and 12 for Tesoro, and the pass is tipped by Nigel Hale, and it falls to the ground incomplete. A 4th down upcoming for Tesoro, so you have a 4th and long in St. John Bosco territory. Let's see what the decision will be here from Tesoro. It looks like they might go for it. Well, never mind. They're going to send on the punting unit here to try to pin the Braves deep before halftime. 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. 42-0 St. John Bosco leads Tesoro. The high school scoreboard halftime report. Usually we like to talk about the first half and look ahead to the second half, but since this isn't much of a game, of course we're going to give you scores from around the CIF Southern section. But Nick, this was something you and I have been wanting to do for a while. Touch on St. John Bosco's football program and their progression over the last decade, how they went from the doormat of the Trinity League to possibly the best team in all of high school football.
Yeah, Uncle Nick is in town. He's going to give you a story. And, boy, I mean, tune in because this is going to be a fantastic halftime report. Uncle Nick is in town, and he's ready for the holidays, guys.
Oh, boy. Uncle Nick is...
I mean, Bosco is tearing up these Tesoro Titans better than a freaking Thanksgiving turkey. Guys, we're ready for the holidays, and we're ready for a beatdown.
It's certainly... territory, and he's finally dragged down at the 39-yard line. Huge pickup through the air on the screen pass. Once again, that's all you got to do if you're Josh Rosen. Dump it out to your wide receivers. They'll do the rest for you. 1st and 10, St. John Bosco. 4 receiver set for the Braves, a pistol set as well. From the 4 is that basket. Sophomore receiver, his 3rd reception of the season, and it's good for a gain of 10 and another St. John Bosco 1st down. Talk about Jared Harrell, somebody who hasn't really gotten all that much kids on.
The sophomore, he has a lot of talent to look up to and a lot of lessons to learn from these receivers. I mean, you're talking Shea Fields. You might as well put a recorder on that man and tell young kids this is how you play receiver at high school football and how you play at the next level. I mean, the coaching staff that has progressed Shea Fields into being the man he is, Jaleel Wadood into being an all-star receiver, especially a dominant down-the-field threat. I mean, you look at these guys, and their coaching staff are preparing them for college, for the next level. They aren't preparing them to face these guys, and it has really paid dividends. Early on, their careers took a dramatic turn as they really have struggled. They switched positions. We talked about Shea Fields used to be a quarterback, and now is switching to wide receiver. A lot of these guys are just kind of making their way into the starting lineup. But once they do, they make some big-time plays because when you're a Bosco offensive receiver, you have a chance to really get open.
Well, here's Bosco. Goal handoff to Clifford Sims, and he's taken down at the 2-yard line before losing the football. Doesn't matter because he was down. So clock under 40 seconds here in the first half. 42-0. The Braves lead it, trying to tack on another score before halftime. Don't forget to tune in to the high school scoreboard halftime report. Package Samoa. Emery Sefo gets the carry, and he's taken down after just a gain of 1. Of course, Sefo, the 307-pound offensive lineman for the Braves, was able to punch in a touchdown score. They're going to do it again. They're going to try to do it again. Clock running down to 3 to 2 to 1, and Bosco can't get off the snap. It's halftime here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. 42-0, one of the most impressive first halves you'll ever see from a ball club. The number one team in the state of California, St. John Bosco, proving exactly why they are that here tonight. It's halftime from Veterans Memorial Stadium, and it's all Braves, 42-0.
Tonight's presentation of St. John Bosco football is brought to you by Tam's Pizzeria. Deliver, call in, and order. Just walk into the corner of Bellflower and Rosecrans for Tam's Pizzeria. They have it all. And highschoolscoreboard.com. All of your updated scores, news, and statistics all at one place. To get the app and registration, log on at highschoolscoreboard.com. Tam's Pizzeria is a proud sponsor of the St. John Bosco Football Radio Network. Tam's has it all. Pizza, wings, burgers, and more. Say Braves #1 when you order any specialty pizza and receive $2 off. Call in and order at 562-925-7700. Again, 562-925-7700. Walk-ins are always welcome as Tam's is located on the corner of Bellflower and Rosecrans. Tam's Pizzeria. They have it all. Tam's Pizzeria is a proud sponsor of St. John Bosco football on the National Sports Radio Network.
Shea Fields catching 3 touchdowns in what was a fantastic first half effort that scored 42 points for the Braves and absolutely nothing for the Tesoro Titans. At halftime, Bosco 42 and Tesoro nothing. We are live from Veterans Memorial Stadium. We have seen fireworks in the air as it has been all Bosco so far in the first. A crisp and cool night here at Long Beach, California, right off the coast of the Pacific. And oh my goodness, what a half to remember for Bosco. Have another half like that, and we're looking at the record books. Last week, Shea Fields had some fantastic first half performances with a total of 220 plus receiving yards, what put them in a tie for the record set 30 week. They scored 40 or 75 points earlier this year, but this week, boy, they're on pace to beat that score, as it's 42-0 Bosco over Tesoro. We'll touch on exactly how Bosco has gotten from worst to first here in just a moment here, as we are live on the High School Scoreboard halftime report. Before I get any further, I'd like to thank our statistician, Travis Neff. I would like to thank our other color analyst, Adam Ferrister. I would like to thank Andy as well. I got to get a last name for you as well. Chris Sylvester for being our play-by-play guy. I'm Nick Rice. And make sure to tune in the next couple weeks as we're going to bring you what has been a very fun ride. Absolutely. I mean, you guys have been a blast. I just want to thank all the crew here, including our Burrow Lee statistician, if you could say, another statistician, a guy that's bringing us our constant halftime stats. We'll get you the official stats from the first half and how dominant it has been for Bosco. You got it right, ladies and gentlemen. 42-0. The Bosco Braves, your Braves, are leading over the Tesoro Titans. At halftime, 42-0. We'll get you to other scores from around the Pac-5 division, as in round number 2, the winner today in all of these games move on to the Final 8. And I know it's not basketball, but it certainly has been as exciting as the Final 4 and as the March Madness and as any sort of basketball tournament. As at halftime, we're looking at a 42-0 Bosco score, but in the third, we're looking at Alemany, 14-0 over, what is that, Westlake? Over Servite, a team that I thought, the Servite Friars, Servite Friars, who I believe would run away with that game. Alemany up 14-0. Chris, your thoughts in that first half score?
That certainly surprises me at least just a little bit. I mean, wow. Alemany, not exactly the polished team that Servite is, but certainly it looks like Alemany at Cerritos College, the Friars' home, certainly put on a heck of a show. 14-0, the Alemany Warriors leading the Servite Friars.
Yeah, they played spoilers because Alemany was an underdog last week as well. They came up big in a win and now are up 14-0 in the third quarter. We'll give you up-to-date stats on that game, but that's not the most entertaining matchup. A team that I really thought Mission Viejo would show up here in the next round of the playoffs. They are, outside of Bosco, on paper, the most talented team, currently trailing by 14 points in the third quarter. Modern Day Monarchs of 21-7 over Mission Viejo. I mean, we're having confusion just like Mission Viejo has. So 21-0, or 21-7, excuse me, Modern Day. We'll give you stats from that game as well. The key for Modern Day, though, was that defense is so dominant. We're talking about Malik McNorris, a guy that I really love who plays D-line for that ball club, and that defensive secondary as well. I mean, Bosco's a great defense, but I believe on that side of the ball, it's about 1A, 1B, with Bosco and Modern Day being two of the top defensive units in the Trinity League, as we saw them shut down Bosco for their lowest point total of the season. 24-2 was the final a couple weeks ago in a game that was televised and was perhaps the game of the year for the Bosco Braves. But Modern Day has really put up a fight over Mission Viejo, currently 21-7. And my thing was, when is the offense going to have the game that that I know they can have? They have a quarterback that can wing it all over the football field. It's just a case of when it's going to happen. We also talk about Dante Pettis. I mean, an all-pro, 5-star recruit that's going to do some fantastic things. I mean, as far as receivers go in the Trinity League, guys have been saying that he is the best receiver in this league. I mean, we talk about Shea Fields. We've seen a lot going on here in the Bosco game, but Dante Pettis, he may be small, but he makes huge plays. 21-7, Modern Day over Mission Viejo. We have a score update. Alemany 21-0 in the third. They scored yet another touchdown, pulling away from Servite, a team that really, outside of Bosco, may have perhaps arguably been the second best team in the Trinity League. It's 21-0. They are trailing in the third. 23-0 at halftime between St. Bonaventure and, how about that, Long Beach Poly scoreless in 2.5 quarters.
Long Beach Poly is winning.
Oh, they are winning. Can you please help me here? 23-0 Long Beach.
You know,
how about that?
we're Tesoro.
Yeah.
We're on the field. The broadcasters are on the field.
Right.
That's why it's 42-0. Mm-hmm. Tesoro's up here broadcasting.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on right now.
That's about the only thing they've done well, too, by the way. All right, so Poly up 23-0. This team was supposed to not even contend last week against Orange Lutheran. I mean, the Lancers were the favorite in that matchup. And then St. Bonaventure, another favorite in this matchup. How about 2 straight weeks, including last year? It was a run for their money just to get to this point a year ago. Now it seems to be irregular that this team upsets week in and week out.
Well, did I not pick Long Beach Poly?
Yeah, you were about the only person that did. I picked St. Bonaventure, including the rest of high school fans and experts from all over. I mean, Bonaventure was a powerhouse in and of itself.
Shows what kind of experts they are, right? I mean, after last week, after seeing what Long Beach Poly did to Orange Lutheran, totally exploited that triple option offense. I just thought there was no way I just can't pick against Long Beach Poly. After what they did to Bosco last year, then they smashed Modern Day at Angel Stadium in the CIF Southern Section game.
Emotional, it's okay.
I mean,
if Bosco's going to lose to them, nobody else can lose.
No, I can't pick against Long Beach Poly. I mean, maybe if Long Beach Poly goes up against Bosco, which would have to be in the CIF Southern Section Championship game, the Pac-5 Championship game, maybe I'll go a different way and pick St. John Bosco because I think Bosco's playing better than anybody, even Long Beach Poly, who leads, like we said, 23-0 at the half at St. Bonaventure's and what's likely a moist night out in Ventura, California. But Long Beach Poly can't pick against Raul Lara's Jackrabbits. You just can't.
Yeah, I mean, that team is fantastic. I mean, I don't know about this halftime report, man. Can you be a little less insensitive here?
What?
23-0 Long Beach Poly. I mean, you didn't even write it right on this sheet here. Jeez. Talk about hat statisticians. No thanks anymore. So 23-0 Long Beach Poly at the half. And next week they're going to take on, I believe, in the bracket, the winner of Mater Dei and Mission Viejo, which is currently Mater Dei 21-7. So in the next round of the playoffs, if everything works out, the Mater Dei Monarchs and the Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits winner takes it all in the finals.
Let's see how the final scores end up. I still think Mission Viejo is definitely going to have another run in them. I mean, Mission Viejo, it'd be the second straight season they've been upset in the second round of the playoffs. That'd be bad news for the Diablos. And I got to think that they have at least a couple more scores in them against a fine Mater Dei ball club.
Yeah, that defense is fantastic, though, for the Monarchs. But we'll definitely touch on that, including the rest of the scores from around the Trinity League and the Pac-5 when we get going here from Veterans Memorial Stadium. 42-0 Bosco over Tesoro. We'll give you the remainder of the halftime report presented to you by High School Scoreboard right after this. Stay tuned. Tam's Pizzeria is a proud sponsor of the St. John Bosco Football Radio Network. Tam's has it all: pizza, wings, burgers, and more. Say Braves #1 when you order any specialty pizza and receive $2 off. Call in and order at 562-925-7700. Again, 562-925-7700. Walk-ins are always welcome as Tam's is located on the corner of Bellflower and Rosecrans. Tam's Pizzeria. They have it all.
Is your hometown team away for the playoffs this week? Are you looking for a new way to keep tabs on any and all of your favorite ball clubs playing Friday nights? If the answer is yes, we have an extremely easy way for you and all of your friends to keep track of every high school team in the nation. Download the High School Scoreboard app, HS Scoreboard. This application comes with scores, stats, and stories from every team thanks to our statisticians live at every stadium, providing you with play-by-play action of the game you couldn't make it to. Spend your Friday night having fun, doing what you waited all week to get done. Let us do the dirty work, and you can still be at the stadium on your phone. Download the app, High School Scoreboard. It's available for all smartphones and is the best 99 cents you will ever spend. Less than $1. That's it. High School Scoreboard. The app gives you access to features on Instagram as well. High School Scoreboard. What are you waiting for? Download it now.
I would like to thank Matt Atkinson and the entire High School Scoreboard crew for providing what has been a fantastic app. I mean, I since I've downloaded it, I've used it basically every single day. High School Scoreboard is a fantastic app. You get stats, scores, all the storylines from all the high school games around the country. I mean, I don't have to. I can be here in Veterans Memorial and get games from around the country. I mean, we're talking my favorite team being the Vista Mirada Broncos. I can get scores from that while I'm broadcasting the game here. And you can be doing this while you're doing whatever festivities you have on a Friday night. So far, Bosco leading 42-0, but download the app and you can get scores from around the remainder of the high school games in the country. I want to thank Matt Atkinson and the High School Scoreboard crew for that. I'll send it over to Adam Ferrister. Boy, Adam, what is your thoughts about a Bosco team that has gone from worst to first in the Trinity League in such a short time span?
It's been amazing what Coach Negro has been able to do to this program. He completely changed it around. He came in. This is his fourth year now. He came in, completely transformed the program, recruited the best players in the state, and has one of the best programs in the nation. This was a St. John Bosco team that really wasn't competitive for the top spots in the Trinity League. For most of the time, they were in the Trinity League. They were in the Sarah League before here, and they'd gotten a title win the last year they were in that league. But since coming into the Trinity League, they had not won a league title until last year. And this is the first time that they've been able to win 2 years in a row, which has been very, very good for Jason Negro's Braves. and what he's been able to accomplish in this short 4 years.
Yeah, no, Bosco fans are certainly celebrating by this point. I mean, for the Bosco Braves, just a couple years ago, Jason Negro wanted to reshape this entire Brave franchise. This was a team beleaguered by a lot of players that were that really didn't have the same talent as the remainder of the Trinity League. He turned it around and just in a couple years ended up winning 8 games in 2011, 8 games last year, and so far it's been 11 going on 12 here in 2013. I mean, we're talking David versus Goliath in this matchup between Tesoro and the Bosco Braves. How about David versus Goliath as far as actually becoming the team that they are? I mean, the Braves, their best running back is a sophomore who stands at 5'9" and only 160 pounds, defying all odds. I mean, their quarterback is only a junior, and how many juniors can even get their way to the starting lineup, let alone pass for over 2,000 yards in a high school season? The Bosco Braves have gone from worst to first, but as far as Jason Negro is concerned, they have become the greatest team in high school sports.
Going back to that, Sean McGrew being a sophomore, it shows that there is very good potential in the coming years. You do lose receivers Shea Fields and Jaleel Wadu, but you have guys coming up, and you have Clifford Sims as a running back who is a junior. Sean McGrew, who is a sophomore, has just been a stud. Nas Anesi has been a stud too, and he is a junior. So you have those guys returning to make up for the lost Jaleel Wadu, Shea Fields, and a couple other defenders. So that just means that the defensive side of the ball is going to have to step up to make up for the lost seniors next year that are graduating this year. But the offensive side of the ball looks good. They're just going to have to grow up and be the team that they are now. They're going to have to fill the shoes of being this 11-0 right now, soon to be 12-0 team that has a very good shot at winning CIF and state if they can win CIF afterwards.
Yeah, keep it tuned here to the Bosco Braves radio station. I've been very impressed as well that they've done it without transferring a lot of guys. They've just recruited them in and have molded whoever's in their locker room. I believe those are the best coaches, the guys that can take whoever's in their locker room. They don't let off-the-field distractions. They don't let any sort of issues in the locker room affect what's going on the field. If you are not bought into the program, you're not a part of the Bosco Braves, being the best team in the state of California based off of basically every single high school expert here and every single website that covers high school sports. I mean, so far in the first half, it's just been a display of how the Bosco Braves can bring in talent, can bring in guys that didn't even play the position they are now. Shea Fields used to be a quarterback. He's excelling, one of the best receivers in the Trinity League this season. And now, I mean, they beat down the remainder of the Trinity League, and it looks to me like outside of perhaps Mater Dei, if they win today, it's going to be only the Mater Dei Monarchs and the St. John Bosco Braves as the only remaining teams in the Trinity League. Shows what kind of a beating they put on the rest of that league, as for basically 5 weeks straight, they told the rest of that class that, hey, listen, we are the best California has to offer.
Yes, it is. And when Jason Negro first came in, he told all of his guys, if you stick with us, I will get you a state championship. And that's the road they are on right now. Those players have bought into the idea of winning that ring, that CIF ring, or getting that state ring. And that's what their goal is. That's their sight set. They take it each game, game by game. But that's the big picture, is getting that ring that all of those boys so desperately want, especially those seniors, who this is their last chance to make an impact on this Bosco program.
Adam Ferrister is joining us in the halftime report, presented by High School Scoreboard. Last year they had a similar chance to get to the state championship, fell short to Long Beach Poly. What do you feel is the difference between last year and the performance they're putting on the field this year?
Just more of a maturity, too. You have backs now, Sean McGrew, Nessie, and even Clifford Sims. Before, you only had one back before, and Rosen was a sophomore. You could consider him a pretty immature, not immature as in a bad way, but he wasn't the same kind of guy that could lead the offense that he does now, and he didn't have the same receivers as now. He had both Shea Fields and Jaleel Wadu, but they really stepped their game up this year and really help out Rosen. And it's been the offense and defense has just stepped up. Those guys have gotten bigger, and they've just gotten more dominant this year than I've ever seen them anywhere before.
Yeah, I mean, the Bosco Braves are fantastic. At the end of the first half, the Tesoro Titans have less yards than the Bosco Braves have points. We'll give you the remainder of those stats right after this. You have listened to another presentation of the High School Scoreboard Halftime Report. So we'll send it back over to the guys, Chris Sylvester and Adam Ferrister, with a call from Veterans Memorial.
Tonight's presentation of St. John Bosco football is brought to you by Tam's Pizzeria. Deliver, call in, and order. Just walk into the corner of Bellflower and Rosecrans for Tam's Pizzeria. They have it all. And highschoolscoreboard.com. All of your updated scores, news, and statistics all at one place. To get the app and registration, log on at highschoolscoreboard.com.
Back here in Long Beach, California at Veterans Memorial Stadium, started the third quarter. Bosco 42-0. They lead the Tesoro Titans with 11:57 left here to go in the third quarter. It was a short pooch kick by the Titans, returned to the 33-yard line. So that's where Rosen and the Bosco offense will take over. Talk a little bit about the offense and how they were able to put up 42 points in that first half.
Yeah, the passing offense really clicked. I know Josh Rosen had a shaky second quarter. Jaleel Wadu, 4 catches, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns was a fantastic portion of the first half. Shea Fields had 6 catches, 92 yards, and 3 scores. Along with Sean McGrew, gets the call here for a gain of 7. He tacks on to his already 68 yards on the ground. It's been a 13-yard per carry clip and also a rushing score. It has been an up-and-down first half for Tesoro, who really did boggle down that Bosco offense, limiting them to 7 points in the second quarter.
Certainly an improvement, but after that first quarter allowing 35 points, there's really no getting around that, especially against St. John Bosco's defense. Well, how about this? Bosco up 42-0 here in the third quarter. Second round of the Pac-5 playoffs. Pretty much all the starters have been lifted for the Braves. Andrew Katnick's in at quarterback. Clifford Sims is in at running back. Jaleel Wadu's out of the game. Shea Fields is out of the game. They're resting up, and they are getting ready for next week, round 3.
In the first half, they had basically like a record-setting performance, 300 yards of total offense. And even this backup unit looks like they're creating some big plays here for the offense. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not have this score mistaken. Bosco Braves, we're expected to lead throughout the ball game, but not by 42. It's 42-0 in favor of the Braves.
Boy, like you said, this backup unit continues to move the ball. It's a 2nd and 6 for the Braves at the Tesoro 50-yard line. There is a screen pass out to Anselm Ume, who we saw catch his first career varsity touchdown last week, but we have a flag on the field, and it's holding against the Braves, so this will back it up just a little bit. Any chance, I'm going to sound ridiculous asking this question, but with the starters lifted for St. John Bosco, any chance Tesoro can maybe put a thought in the back of Jason Negro's head that saying, hey, maybe I should
score a point today.
Not that. I just think maybe Devin Monster.
Come on.
You don't think Devin Monster can move the ball against the second team for the Braves?
This from top to bottom is fantastic for the Braves. I mean, look at your boy Katnick right here.
Katnick with a 5-receiver set's going to take it himself up the middle, and he has a St. John Bosco first down to the Tesoro 46-yard line. So I seem to say it every time we see Andrew Katnick in the game, but a much mobile quarterback than we're used to in Josh Rosen. 1st and 10. They still move quickly with the backup unit. It's a screen pass out to Jordan Harris, and the ball's on the ground, and they're going to say it was an incomplete pass. It was almost a disastrous play that time for St. John Bosco. The same screenplay they've been running all night with the first unit, but a little bit of a different story here with the second unit. The patience not there with the receivers, and the blocking just isn't equivalent to that of the first team.
No, it isn't. You don't have the same receivers blocking. Both Shea Fields and Jalea Wadu are tremendous blockers, and they don't get the credit all the time, but now
there's Clifford Sims. Nobody's going to catch him. He's up the middle for a St. John Bosco touchdown. Clifford Sims, the third-string running back for the Braves, goes 46 yards to the house. And I was wrong. This second-team offense for St. John Bosco just as impressive as the first. They put 6 on the board here to open up the second half. It's 48-0 Bosco.
I was going to say, when you guys were talking about putting in the second string, I think that the second string could actually beat this Tesoro team. The second string is very impressive. It's just because they're second string does not mean that they're that much worse than the starters. It's just the starters are D1 bound athletes from top to bottom, and those other guys are right there behind them, just haven't taken that step to be the D1 athletes that those guys are right now.
Well, it shows you how much of a team St. John Bosco is. It shows you how much each and every one of these individuals are for them teams and not for themselves. You have a group of second unit guys that could go play varsity football somewhere else
and be a starter.
And be a star.
Yeah.
Not even just a starter, a star. Andrew Katnick could be a star quarterback with probably college offers at a lot of other local high schools. But he, as well as a lot of those other guys on the second-team offense and defense for the Braves, take that sacrifice of not getting as much playing time, but they reap the reward. St. John Bosco, after presumably what's going to be a win here tonight against Tesoro in Long Beach, moves on to the third round for the second consecutive season. But just what a team effort by these guys. I mean, they wait their turn. They've been waiting their turn all season long to get a chance to shine. They get playing time when there's blowouts, and they make the most of it. That time, Clifford Sims, 46 yards to the house.
Yeah, this is going to be the team that we're going to see in the next couple years for the Bosco Braves. And this is the best chance that these young men have of actually getting a ring, as we are ranked number 1 in the state of California. I mean, a close number 2 might be Mission Viejo, who dominated last week in round 1, currently trailing, but I expect a second half for them as well. Those second-string players are guys that we are going to expect to play for these Bosco Braves in the years to come. So Clifford Sims may be a household name. We haven't heard of him much this year. Is going to become a household name in the coming years.
Well, the tough thing for Clifford Sims is that, unfortunately for him, he's got Sean McGrew and Manesse Anesi ahead of him. But you saw what Sean McGrew did coming from basically the third-string running back spot, elevating his way to a starter. I mean, you saw the speed when Clifford Sims broke loose right there. Wow. Certainly he has the capability of getting a lot of carries next year for Jason Negro's squad.
Yes, and we first saw Sean McGrew on that 87-yard carry against Chandler, Arizona. That really put him on the map there, and we just saw him. He just worked his way up to that top spot from that point, and that's what Clifford Sims can do also. He can do that right there. He has the speed. He just has to work to that top spot.
2nd and 10 here for Devin Modster and the Tesoro offense. It's 48-0. The Braves lead the Titans, and sacked in the backfield is Devin Modster. How about Eric Golston, the transfer from Mayfair High School, getting in the backfield and getting the sophomore quarterback? And how about the ball coming loose as well? It looks like the Braves recovered it. I didn't even see a signal that time, but sure enough, another turnover by Tesoro's offense. Katnick and the Braves offense is going to get the ball right here at the Tesoro 11-yard line. Already up 48-0. Still, what? Let me do my math here. 21 minutes and 22 seconds left to go in the game. We could be seeing a school record as far as points put up. I mean, Bosco did put up 75 against Crenshaw, but we very well could see them surpass that here tonight.
I feel bad of Goldston leveling the quarterback there. He sandwiched him to the floor. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad he's okay.
Hand off to Sims. Sims busts loose up the middle, and he's into the end zone for his second touchdown of the night. Boy, Tesoro, not a slouch of a football team. 9-2 coming into this game, but the Bosco Braves are simply making them look like a freshman squad, I want to say.
Yes, they really are, and that's what a lot of people might forget when they see these scores is they might think the teams aren't that great compared to what other teams play, but they are just as good, if not better, than pretty much every other team in the state's schedule, and they still put up these big numbers, these big ridiculous wins against these teams.
So how about that? With 9:19 left to go in the third quarter from Veterans Memorial Stadium, the Braves just keep pounding it down the throat of the Titans. It's 55-0 Bosco leads. We'll have scores from around the Pac-5 playoffs when we get back on the SJB Broadcast Network.
Tonight's presentation of St. John Bosco football is brought to you by Tam's Pizzeria. Deliver, call in, and order. Just walk into the corner of Bellflower and Rosecrans for Tam's Pizzeria. They have it all. And highschoolscoreboard.com. All of your updated scores, news, and statistics all at one place. To get the app and registration, log on at highschoolscoreboard.com.
Back here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, it's all Bosco, and by all Bosco, I mean all Bosco. 55-0. The Braves lead the Tesoro Titans with 9:19 left to go in the third quarter here. Scores from other games around the Pac-5 playoffs. We got Mater Dei and Mission Viejo pitted against each other at Santa Ana Stadium. Right now, currently, Mater Dei leading the Diablos of Mission Viejo High School 21-7. That game late in the third quarter down in Santa Ana, California. We also have Alemany up 21-7 over the Servite Friars. A lot of people thought that we could very well have a rematch of just a couple of weeks ago, Bosco and Servite, but right now, as of right now, it looks like Alemany will be pitted against St. John Bosco in the semifinals of the Pac-5 playoffs. And one of the most intriguing games, or one of the games that we thought would be the most intriguing between Long Beach Poly and St. Bonaventures, that game, the most lopsided of all, 37-0. The Jackrabbits have gone into St. Bonnie's, and they're just beating them up.
Yeah, no, that's going to be the matchup to win this Pac-5. Pencil it in right now because Alemany is similar. I mean, sure, Alemany might match up better than this Tesoro team does as far as blow for blow with the Titans and the Braves, but it's going to be the Jackrabbits and the Braves. Barring some crazy play, the winner is going to move on to the other two state. They're going to move on to bigger and better things in the CIF playoffs, as it seems to me like next week is going to be the Final Four, absolutely, but it seems to me like the final two, Long Beach Poly and St. John Bosco. How about that?
Well, Adam, I know we have the pleasure of spending the time around a lot of these St. John Bosco football players throughout the week. Sure, when we saw the original Pac-5 bracket come out, I don't think all that many people picked Long Beach Poly to go to the finals, and they're certainly not there yet. I mean, they're still going to have to get by either Mater Dei, which would be a rematch from last year's finals, or Mission Viejo, who they beat last year as well. So certainly one of Mater Dei or Mission Viejo is going to be pitted against Long Beach Poly if the score stands out in Ventura, California, in the semifinals. But you talk to a lot of these players, they want that revenge on Long Beach Poly, and I certainly think St. John Bosco a better team than Long Beach Poly, but I think it'd be one heck of a game.
Yes, it would, and that just because St. John Bosco is a better team, we thought St. John Bosco was a better team than them last year, but Poly showed up to play in that game, and that's going to be the real key factor there. But I haven't seen a game where the Braves really haven't shown up. As the season's progressed, they've just gotten better.
Well, how about John Rivera getting the carry here? He's down inside the St. John Bosco 20 to the 16-yard line. Tesoro had themselves a 2nd and 16 back at their own 40, but John Rivera, the explosive running back for the Titans, we have not seen break off a big run like that so far here tonight, finally breaks out of that shell and gets the Titans for the first time tonight against the second-team defense for St. John Bosco in the red zone.
Zach Hickman and Ned Cambacion sealing off the A and B gap, and John Rivera was off to the races, but doesn't have the top-end speed that we've seen out of these other Bosco backs, as it's going to be a run for only a 1-yard gain. We spoke about Long Beach Poly and St. John Bosco as being the team in the finals. Sure, you could say Josh Rosen struggled. He has another year out of his belt. But how about last year with the injury that Sheffield suffered? I believe boy, it was only a 4-week-long injury, but it certainly set this offense back, only scoring 10 points. And then Long Beach Poly was able to defeat him with a 13-10 final. But, boy, Shea Fields, the departure of him after breaking his collarbone, that's going to be huge if they can keep him in the lineup against Poly.
Well, John Rivera here for Tesoro gets the handoff, and he's pushed down at the 15-yard line. So a 3rd and 6 upcoming here for the Titans in the Braves red zone for the first time today. 55-0, the Braves lead the Titans. 6:40 left to go, third quarter from Veterans Memorial Stadium. Chris Sylvester, Nick Rice, Adam Ferrister here with you on the call. We got Travis Neff helping us out for the second consecutive week. We got Andy Goodwin helping us out on the High School Scoreboard app here tonight. High School Scoreboard, Matt Atkinson. We'd like to thank him first and foremost for making this broadcast possible. And all the broadcasts throughout the postseason have definitely been attributed to Matt Atkinson, really buying into what we're doing here on the SJB Broadcast Network. As, how about that? Devin Modster sacked for the 6th time tonight. There's only one starter still in for the Braves, Ivan Martinez, and he came up on that sack for the St. John Bosco. It's going to back it up. 4th and long upcoming for Tesoro. You got to go for it here if you're the Titans.
Yeah, let's hope Tesoro can get on the scoreboard here. 55-0 Bosco midway through the third. You're going to see the second half fly by here as the clock is going to continue to roll. Matt Poston's team is going to fall short here tonight, but it's been a valiant effort. 4th down and long. They're going to go to the air, and if Devin Modster can make his name felt before going in the offseason in his first year as a starter, now's the time.
4th and 17 for the Titans at the St. John Bosco 25. Back to passes. Modster, and Modster is sacked once again. How about that? The Braves bring the pressure. Gavin Wines, the junior, getting some time at defensive line for the Braves, was able to bring him down. That's a turnover on downs and give the ball back to St. John Bosco and Andrew Katnick.
Very good stand by that Braves defense, and now they have to give the ball back to Andrew Katnick in that explosive Braves second team offense.
Not a household name, but a household result. Bosco forcing a turnover on downs after a 4 and out. Devin Modster, his goal is to get some points on the board.
Well, the handoff to Clifford Sims. He's had 2 touchdown carries his last 2 times he's gotten the ball out of the backfield. This time he'll have himself a 10-yard gain to the outside, move the chains. How about Clifford Sims, the 3rd-string running back for the Braves, but this kid could easily be a starter just about anywhere else.
Yeah, he looks like a sports car out there, just zooming past the Tesoro defense. Only on 3 carries, 2 touchdowns, and another big strike by Katnick. And, boy, we talk about Katnick. If Josh Rosen wasn't in the starting lineup, we would see Katnick. I mean, this is a man who really has a fantastic arm, can throw it deep into some really tight windows, threads the needle, and it pays off.
And not only does he have a fantastic arm, he has great speed.
A dual-threat guy for sure. Very much a luxury for St. John Bosco out of that backup quarterback spot. The ball is on the ground. It was a backwards pass, and the Braves didn't realize it, and Tesoro recovers the football. It was a screen pass intended for Anselm Ume, and it was a backwards pass. Never heard a whistle. The Braves kind of fell asleep on that play, just walked around like it was an incomplete pass. But when you do throw a backwards pass in football, it's a live football back there, and Tesoro was able to come on top of it that time. They get the ball back. Bosco turns over the rock for the 2nd time here tonight and the 1st time here in the second half.
Yeah, Michael McKesey on the recovery, a senior defensive lineman that's made some big-time plays on a 1st down and 10. It's going to be a handoff. Whoa. John Rivera, he's been unleashed in the second half after being bottled up in the first. John Rivera nearing 100 yards rushing so far today. He actually has broken that mark. And now it looks like these Tesoro Titans are trying to get some sort of a rhythm here. Get a couple 1st downs, move the chains, and have something to look forward to into next year. As I've mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, they have 11 returners. How about that? You can't say that about the Bosco Braves. They have a lot of backups that are on the sidelines that are juniors and sophomores. But how about 10 starting juniors, including 6 on offense, that are helping this team move down the football field outside of a loss of yardage there, moving down the field on a drive that started from their own 20.
Well, certainly you see the the reason why Tesoro went 9-2 this year. But this is a Tesoro football program, like you said, that won the South Coast League just 2 years ago. And this was a Tesoro team that gave St. John Bosco last year in the playoffs all they could handle. It was a 17-17 game at half before the Braves ran away with it and won eventually 38-17, outscoring the Titans 21-0 in the second half. But certainly a much more poised Bosco team tonight, and a little bit of a diminished Tesoro team as they lost their star dual-threat quarterback from last year. But they're replacing him with a kid in Devin Monster, who you and I believe can play at the Division I level. I mean, he's only a sophomore. He's got great size in the backfield. He can run it. He can pass it. I mean, he's what you want if you're Coach Weger here. He's exactly what you want for Tesoro going into the future in the South Coast League. Mission Viejo, they're towards the top of that league every single year. And if you want to compete with Mission Viejo, you have to be able to put up points. And this Devin Monster kid, he's only going to get better throughout his years here at Tesoro. And you got to think that this is one day soon going to be a very potent, high-powered offense.
Yeah, speaking of high-powered offenses, Long Beach Poly's now made it 37-0. They still lead by that mark despite 15 penalties by that unit. It's 37-0 for the Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits, who have shut out their opponent so far in what is a wild game in Long Beach.
Going back, seeing that too, those 15 penalties, if Long Beach plays Bosco, 15 penalties is not going to work. If they give up that many free yards to Bosco, Bosco will use those yards and run all over them.
Boy, another team that's been run all over is Tesoro. It's been a hodgepodge defense all year long, beleaguered by not only injuries, but the fact that they just haven't been able to cover the deep ball, and it's been point in blank tonight. It's been evident that this team has had no problem, Bosco has it, passing the football down the field. But I thought that this offense would come out to show, as I thought this team would fight back. I mean, we're speaking last week. They had a battle between Cabrillo that ended up being one and done in favor of the Tesoro Titans. But boy, those Jaguars did come back against that team. It's been a back-and-forth battle last week, ended up being won by this offense. To be shut out so far with 3 minutes remaining in the third, it's dumbfounded me. I can't believe that this offense, so high-powered, including a quarterback, in the likes of a guy like Josh Rosen, shut out so far in nearly 3 quarters.
It's going to be a fourth down here for Tesoro at the St. John Bosco 45. Monster rolls out to his left, throws, and the pass is complete. A flag flies in late. I don't know if he got the original ball spot, but that was a late hit on St. John Bosco, so it appears that Tesoro will get the first down anyways as they, with 2:55 left to go here in the third quarter, attempt to get on the scoreboard here. But you talk about that Long Beach Poly St. Bonaventure's game. Poly just scored again. 44-0, 44 seconds left in the third. It sounds like Poly having just as much fun as St. John Bosco is here tonight.
Yeah, they're going back and forth, seeing who can score more points here. Is an interception return for a touchdown. And a dumb play here, though, or not exactly a dumb play. I mean, just a passionate player, Christian Holland, late hit out of bounds. They're debating the call here, the referees are. So we have a standstill in veterans. But after the ruling, it looks like it's going to be a late hit on the quarterback. No, they're going to have to take a second look, and it's going to be a turnover by Tesoro. Oh, my goodness. That's just been the story so far today. Bless their hearts. Boy, they've got to certainly be sad after this sort of an effort.
Well, after everything that's happened tonight, if Matt Poston's heartbeat isn't a little bit irregular right now, it certainly is after that. I mean, you finally think you have something going for you on an offensive drive. The referee waves the flag, and St. John Bosco takes over on offense.
Well, in these sort of games, it just shows that you got to show the sort of resiliency here. I do like the fact that after these drives, Tesoro still has the effort, especially defensively. They're finishing plays. You saw in that last play, that last Bosco drive ended with a fumble recovery. They aren't quitting until the end of the game. As typically by halftime, a lot of players and a lot of teams would quit here. A lot of teams would wave the white flag, but not this team. Look at the scoreboard. It says Bosco has won, and the Braves are going to move on. But Tesoro is just showing the resiliency of a team that, despite their lack of experience, knows one thing, and that's how to fight till the very end, the last whistle.
Like I said, 9-2 team. You got to commend their efforts this season. They can't just hang their heads going into the offseason because of a loss to the number one team in the state of California. I mean, we've been trying to find the bright spots tonight for Tesoro. Certainly Devin Modster, the quarterback for Tesoro. You look at Jake Smeltzer, the leading wide receiver. A lot of returners. I mean, you look at both sides of the ball, you're going to have 10 juniors returning and a sophomore returning, not to mention all the talent you have out in Rancho Santa Margarita as far as football goes. So this Tesoro team next year, once again, they're going to be loaded, and once again, I think you can expect to find them back in the Pac-5 playoff picture.
There are a whole bunch of teams in California, and to be ranked number 37 with a lot of juniors playing at the helm, including a lot on offense, as we see the lack of experience here in this game. I mean, when it gets down early, it's hard against a bigger Bosco unit to pound them and push them back. But to be 37th in California, I just think there are bigger and better things here for the Tesoro Titans. And their goal number one for next year has to be to defeat Mission Viejo. That was the goal this year. They got behind early. It was their only road loss of the season. It's going to probably end up being 2 here, as they're going to lose on the road here against the Bosco Braves. But their only loss of the season. It was actually somewhat of a game, but in the first quarter, boy, things certainly changed for the worse. Same with that special teams there, as they had them bottled up in the backfield. That was the Tesoro Titans on the return. That whole unit helping seal off the edge and giving their return man a huge boost, as the Tesoro Titans are going to start with their best field position, the 40-yard line. Is this a chance to go in for a score?
Let's hope so. I mean, still 55 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. 55-0. The Braves lead the Titans of Tesoro High School. Still got another quarter ahead of us here on the SJB Broadcast Network. We're going to continue to update you on scores around the Pac-5 playoffs, and I'm sure we'll figure out some fun things to do during the course of this last quarter and 55 seconds, won't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, we certainly have a Twitter page or some sort of social media. I mean, I'm going to be so excited for the things I'm going to be doing this week. Thanksgiving in 6 days. Oh man, I'm going to be excited. A lot of
Uncle Nick's going to be excited, right?
Yeah, because there's football for days on Thanksgiving Thursday. I mean, aren't you going to be excited? I mean, tweet us, message us. What are you going to be doing during Thanksgiving? Make sure to tune in, message on Spreaker, whatever the case may be, because Uncle Nick has a lot going on Thursday.
Don't we all? I mean, Thanksgiving, Thursday, we definitely want to, if we fail to commend you on this, we definitely want to wish you all a safe and happy Thanksgiving weekend, of course. But you can follow us on Twitter if you want to be exact here, at SJB Broadcast.
Right.
All one word.
Not just for Thanksgiving, for all the other things. And before we wrap it up here in the third quarter and get started for the fourth, man, I'm going to be excited to cut up some turkey and stuff, but I'll be like, hey, look, guys. Look, I saw a little bit of cutting up earlier today as Tesoro got completely cut up over the Bosco Braves. 55-0 Braves over the Titans at the end of 3 here in Veterans Memorial Stadium. We'll get you set for fourth quarter action and all of the entertainment here live from Veterans Memorial as we are set for fourth quarter action between the Braves and the Titans. Come back to see if Tesoro can crack the scoreboard. Come back to see how many points they'll score in the fourth, as it's backup time here between these two teams. Currently, it is 55-0. Fourth quarter action right after this.
Catch every game of the St. John Bosco season with our Twitter handle at St. John Bosco. It's SJB Broadcast. Again, SJB and the word broadcast. Also, make sure to tune into the post-game shows. We'll interview the player of the game along with the highlights and analysis of tonight's contest. Now back to the guys. Nick Rice, Adam Ferrister, and your host Chris Sylvester with a call from National Sports, an affiliate of Spreaker.com.
Back here at St. John Bosco's home for the night, Veterans Memorial Stadium, on the campus of Long Beach City College. They moved the game.
At home,
They make themselves at home pretty much seemingly everywhere, as the backups are in the game for Tesoro as well, as they trail 55-0. That's a number 2, Zach Huerta, the backup quarterback for the Titans of Tesoro High School. But the game was moved to Veterans Memorial Stadium tonight because there was fear of rain, and St. John Bosco doesn't play on turf like we have here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, and the lights went out at the end of the last game, so we didn't want problems, and
the Titans.
they didn't want to mess up the broadcast. That's why they moved it here. But
I mean, the Titans have had a lot more things to worry about than rain. How about losing 55-0 in the second round of the playoffs?
well, it certainly hasn't been a fun time for the Titans, but that might be a little fun right there. John Rivera cuts up the middle, and the Titans are on the scoreboard in the fourth quarter. How about John Rivera finally getting on the board here for Tesoro with 11:08 left to go, fourth quarter. The Titans finally get into the end zone. It's 55-6.
John Rivera cutting up that defense right up the middle, running off right guard and right tackle. Leo Rodriguez and Nick Zamitz sealing off the blocks there, running off the B gap, and John Rivera, boom, straight in the end zone, a 25-yard touchdown strike, and it's the Tesoro Titans down 55-7, but have something to look forward to going into the offseason in a game that was one-handed from start to almost finish here. Tesoro cracks the scoreboard.
And not to sound like Brent Musburger talking about Catherine Webb right now, but you got to give a shout-out to the Tesoro cheerleaders. I mean, their team's down 55-7 here in the fourth quarter, but they're still cheering away down there, trying to get the Tesoro fans involved, even though it's majority St. John Bosco fans here tonight. But the Tesoro cheerleaders just continue to create somewhat of a buzz on the sidelines for the Titans.
They look fabulous, don't they? How about those cheerleaders? Wow. I mean,
not to sound like Brent Musburger, I'm talking about Catherine Webb. We're not trying to have a repeat performance of that.
Yo, man, you guys are ridiculous. You guys are straight ridiculous. Oh my goodness. What do you guys do with your free time?
What do we do? We watch Brent Musburger. He's a fantastic announcer, as the kickoff is going to be returned here from Jared Harrell, and Jared Harrell busts through to the 26-yard line, so that's where the backup unit for St. John Bosco will take over. You figure Katnick's going to still be in as the clock starts to run here in the fourth quarter. Bosco up by 48 points here, but we have not seen a third-string quarterback from the sidelines from St. John Bosco all season long, and it doesn't figure like we will here, but whoever that third stringer is, you're up 55-7 in the fourth. We also saw a game where St. John Bosco scored 75, and whoever the third stringer is didn't get put in, but I guess we don't really have to worry about that, right? No third stringer for Jason Negro's squad.
I don't know who would be the third-string quarterback, but it's not anyone here that's going to play.
Well, I mean, anyone who's third string would win anyways, right? Would travel the ball down this defense. It's been a little bit ugly here, but why they're still turning up the heat in the second half. You know who else faces a little bit heat in those commercials? You're ridiculous, man. I can't believe you. What do you guys do with your free time?
We watch Brent Musburger and we study up on St. John Bosco football. Am I right?
Yeah, St. John Bosco football.
That's all we do. Free time, St. John Bosco football. St. John Bosco SJB football is life, right?
It absolutely is. I mean, 2 out of the 3 guys here go to St. John Bosco, a fantastic school. I mean, because that's all we focus on is academics, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Academics first, right?
Academics first.
Academics first. Broadcasting second.
Not even broadcasting second. Are you kidding me? There's a lot more important things. I mean, it's a second thing is football, because this is just. We're not talking about just football. We're talking about in general. Bring the heat when it comes to all basketball. You name it. This team is good at it. The Bosco Braves undefeated in football play, but they're getting things going as far as basketball is concerned, right?
Yeah, St. John Bosco, I want to say 19th ranked team in the nation as far as basketball goes. Tyler Dorsey, Daniel Hamilton, some flashy D1 prospects will be taking the floor for the Braves, and we might have a special surprise for you doing a couple basketball games this year. I was talking to Burrow Lee a lot this week about that, and I think that'd be a fun experience for the team. Continuing on after what hopefully is a state championship run for what certainly looks to be a state championship run. I mean, right? That's the effort St. John Bosco's really put out. As this is going to be a punt from Richard Cole, his second of the night, and Tesoro will return it to the St. John Bosco 46 with 8:15 clock running in the fourth quarter. Braves lead 55-7. It's a final down at St. Bonnie's. The Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits have defeated St. Bonaventure and Alabama quarterback commit Ricky Town, who didn't have himself much of a game against that Jackrabbit defense tonight. So Poly, for the second straight year, will be moving to the semifinals. And everything is done at Mater Dei. Are we done with Mater Dei Mission?
17-yard line with 1:10 to go.
Is that what we're getting?
And because, Mater Dei is currently leading, but with 42 seconds to go, they are watching a drive that may have them in a tie ball game. 42 seconds. Mission Viejo is kicking off. And Mission Viejo with a touchdown will tie it at 21. Yeah, so they're going with the They're down 21-14. So, yeah, with the touchdown, it'll be tied.
That's why we have a whole crew, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're getting all sorts of action. You know how we get all this action? We get it by High School Scoreboard, presented by Matt Atkinson's squad, and they'll bring you every score and stat from every high school football game from around the country. It's only $1. It's the best dollar you can ever spend, 99 cents actually. As go to your iPhone or iPad or whatever the case may be, go to the Apple Store and download the app today. High School Scoreboard. They have it all, absolutely.
Well, something I was talking to Mr. Matt Atkinson about this week. How did you guys like the idea of an 8-team national championship little playoff set? See, the thing against that would be it'd be 18 games for a high school team to play, but they'd get about a month off before that 8-team tournament at the end of January, and it certainly would be possible, but I don't know about the likelihood about that. I mean, the winner maybe gets $500K. I mean, that's something Matt and I were talking about, but would you like to see eventually a national championship amongst high school football?
No, one thing I do want to see, though, is, I mean, I don't mean to crush the hearts of a lot of these high school players as we have an injured man down on the field. It looks like a guy who's been shut out so far today, Gunnar Gam, if I'm not mistaken, Jake Smeltzer is going to be helped off the field with an applause by the crowd here at Veterans Memorial. But one thing I do want to see, though, Chris, I don't mean to create controversy here, but I would like to see a difference in the playoff settings, because for the first couple rounds, I mean, I know the Orange Lutheran game in the first 9. Get into the playoffs and we see an 8-2 J. Sarah team miss the postseason, that's when I say, look, the playoff schedule needs to be rearranged, or you just need to see less teams able to enter the postseason. At the end of the day, I feel like if you don't have a winning record, you aren't deserving of getting into the postseason. It's as simple as that. If you can't win games, why should you go to the playoffs?
But in high school football, college football, you will never, ever see a team play 16 games. And if St. John Bosco is to win a state championship this year, they will be forced to play 16 games, something you never see at the college level.
That's too much pounding on these high school guys, because at the end of the day, the goal of playing high school football is to graduate, not only to move on academically, but for these players to move on to the next level, to move on to collegiate play. And that is the goal for all of these players. I mean, at the end of the day, I know high school means a lot as far as tradition. At high school, it's important for your team to win. It helps not only with funding for getting these high school teams the equipment that they need and the services that they need, but winning is simply put as a way in order to graduate these guys to the next level, get used to what it's like to perform at a high level before you move on to collegiate play. When you have 16 games, it puts too much emphasis on playing high school when the goal is to move on to college. That is simply case point, cut and dry, the way that it should be. So 16 games would be too much. I think the playoff schedule right now should be cut down a series. Instead of having 16 teams per division, you should just have a final 8, and it should be based off of experts and professional analysts instead of just the fact that you're in a certain division that should put you into the playoffs. I mean, I know experts have it wrong, but more often than not, guys that have for decades followed the game of high school, I feel like those are the ones that should dictate who goes to the postseason and who shouldn't. Not some sort of mamby-pamby system where if you're in a division extremely weak, you're in, but if you're Jay Sarah in a strong division, you're a better team that's out. I just don't like the system. And at the end of the day, you see guys like teams like Jay Sarah that are so deserving the postseason, not able to go on to the playoffs. We have a penalty flag down on the field, a lot of chippy action here.
Well, in a 55-7 game, does it? What are you being chippy about here if you're Tesoro? I mean, yeah, you're mad, you're getting the door blown off of you, but oh my, 2:19 left to go. Chippiness, really?
It was a late fair catch call that ends up biting these Tesoro Titans a little bit more, as we have a stoppage here in Veterans Memorial Stadium at Long Beach, California, off the coast of the Pacific. It's been a crisp and cool 50-degree night, but it's been bitter cold for those Tesoro Titans.
It's about 70 degrees here in the press box, and I think you should become a forecaster as well, because gosh darn, I mean, I was looking forward to some rain. We got a little bit of rain on Wednesday night?
Yeah.
But where'd it go?
Yeah, where'd it go?
Where'd the fog go? I haven't seen any fog tonight for St. John Bosco. It's a good thing. That's a good thing. No fog tonight for the St. John Bosco Braves. We got a crazy one down at Cerritos College right now between Alemany and Servite High School. Servite scored a touchdown to make it 21-19. They did not get the 2-point conversion, but still about a minute and a half of football left to be played down at Cerritos College. That game, very important because Bosco plays the winner of that game. Alemany and Bosco hooked up in the playoffs 2 years ago where the Braves defeated the Warriors 33-31 in one of the best high school games I think I have ever personally seen live. And, of course, St. John Bosco and Servite, when they both match up, it's always a good matchup, a big Trinity League rivalry that's really ensued over the last couple of seasons, just with the success of St. John Bosco and Servite's respective football programs. So it should be a good game either way next week. I'm sure we're going to have the final for you by the end of our broadcast tonight. Of course, stay tuned for the high school scoreboard post-game show. I think we're changing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Tams.
Tams Pizzeria. I mean, we've loved to be sponsored by Tams Pizzeria, but the significance of the Alemany Servite game is that the winner does play St. John Bosco. And Alemany, I mean, sure, we haven't seen that team in a couple years, but they just don't have the same talent that Servite does. I want to see the Friars defeat that Alemany football team. We're going to have to wait and see the final. About a minute and a half to go in that game. Winner takes on Bosco. But I just want to see Servite win because it's just a better team and the storylines are a lot better. We're talking about Servite, such a balanced ball club, a team that gave Bosco fits for a very long time in the first half. Earlier on in the Trinity League play. I mean, it ended up being a blowout by Bosco, but Oh my goodness. It's over here in Bosco, and we are anxiously awaiting the final between Servite and Alemany. Winner takes on this very competitive 12-0 Bosco Brave football team.
Well, there's a little bit of doubt down at Cerritos College as if who's going to win between Servite and Alemany, but no doubt who the better team was and who got the victory here tonight. The St. John Bosco Braves 55-7. It's a final here from Veterans Memorial Stadium on the campus of Long Beach City College. The Braves have done it for the second consecutive season. They move on to the semifinals, and they look to avenge that semifinal loss last year against either Servite or Alemany. Stay tuned in the post-game report. We will most certainly have for you the final from that game and a look ahead to next week, whether it's Bosco Alemany or Bosco Servite. It is a final at Cerritos College. Find out who won on the high school scoreboard post-game show when we get back. Reminder, 55-7, the St. John Bosco Braves emphatically move on to the semifinals once again. Live on the campus of St. John Bosco High School in Bellflower, California, it's week 2 of Trinity League football as the Orange Lutheran Lancers are in town. It's Jordan Harris cutting across the field. It's inside the 5. Jordan Harris has a St. John Bosco touchdown.
Very, very good awareness by Harris getting into the open field and knowing where the gaps were in the field.
It's going to be tallied as 49 yards, but he ran about 149 yards on that play. A fantastic cut across the field. He eluded about the whole football team.
You are listening to a special presentation of National Sports. St. John Bosco football with Nick Rice, Adam Ferrister, and Chris Sylvester.
Welcome to a new kind of tension all across the alien nation, where everything isn't meant to be okay. Television dreams of tomorrow. We're not the ones meant to follow, formatting out to our youth. Hey!
Thank you for listening to another presentation of the National Sports Radio Station, an affiliate of Spreaker.com. The St. John Bosco post-game report is brought to you by Tame's Pizzeria. They have it all.
It is a final here in Veterans Memorial Stadium as the Bosco Braves have made it 12 straight victories. They defeated the Tesoro Titans. Final score, Braves 55 and the Tesoro Titans 7. They have cut off the scoreboard lighting, but ever since the opening kickoff, they have cut off any sort of hopes that the Tesoro Titans had a victory. Final score is the Braves 55 and the Titans 7. A tweet from Steve Fryer at the Orange County Register of Modern Day chanting, "We want Polly." Yes, the Jackrabbits are next as the Modern Day Monarchs. We're going to transition very quickly to Modern Day taking on Long Beach Poly, the winner moving on to the final next week. As we've kept track, had some tabs on that game all night long. Modern Day getting it done. They're going to take on the Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits. They also, by a very convincing score, moved on 44-0 victors in that game. Now it's going to be a Final Four, guys, as it's round 3 of the CIF Pac-5 Divisional Playoffs, and the winner is going to move on to the finals. And that is going to be such a fantastic game. We have rounds 1 and 2 in the books as a final also from Cerritos College. Servite Friars fall to Alemany. Final score is 21-19. Servite could not get it done. They failed on a 2-point conversion that would have given them a tie score at 21 apiece. And now it's going to be Alemany taking on the St. John Bosco Braves. It was a from beginning to end a shellacking over these Tesoro Titans. Your thoughts on next week's contest between the Bosco Braves and Alemany?
Boy, I was hoping Servite would come out with a victory just so we'd know a little bit more about the opponent next week. Don't know too much about Alemany outside of the fact that they are a very good Sarah League team. They won the Sarah League title this year. Of course, that league includes teams like Loyola and a couple of other teams that made the Pac-5 playoffs. But, boy, it'll be a rematch of 2 years ago. Alemany pitted against St. John Bosco, and I believe the game is going to be down at Alemany in Mission Hills, California. So that'll be quite the commute for some of us. I know you're a Vista Murrieta guy, so that'll be somewhat of an easy commute for you next week, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been relatively easy for these Braves. I'm a Vista Murrieta Bronco fan. They're the prime school in the Pechanga area, which is around Murrieta. Vista Murrieta 52-0 over Charter Oak after 3 quarters. So it looks like the Broncos are going to move on victors in that game, and in their own inland division are going to move on to the Final Four. As now we are reaching the nitty-gritty of the CIF playoffs. We are strictly 3 weeks away from the state championship. The Final Four in these games. The following week, it's dictated by a Final 2 contest in all of these divisions. After that, the third week, it's going to be the winners of these divisions facing off against each other. And after those 3 weeks, we're looking at the state championship. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, as a lot of teams are being kicked out of these playoffs. And we're reaching the Final Four now. You got to give Alemany a lot of credit for 2 straight wins. Now we're reaching the part of the schedule here, Chris, where it finally gets interesting. Every team that you face is that much tougher. Don't give Tesoro any sort of slack, despite the 55-7 shellacking. It still was a Titan team that was 37th in the state of California. You're facing teams that are top 50th all over the place. I mean, a fantastic effort. And I also want to thank Burrow Lee, being our statistician, for a fantastic broadcast of the game, and our stats presented by him. A fantastic Bosco contributor for a very long time. Final score is going to be 55-7 in favor of the Braves. And just for all of those football fanatics, I want to give a little bit of a post-game rendition here, as we like to look over some of these stats in preparation of next week, Chris. So 55-7, the Braves over the Titans. A total of, boy, look at that, 348 yards in favor of the Braves. And until the fourth quarter, the Tesoro Titans had given up more points than they
here by St. John Bosco against Tesoro tonight. If you want to look at the numbers for St. John Bosco, 468 yards of total offense for the Braves. That 348, I know that could throw you off seeing 348. That was in the first half alone. Bosco kind of took the foot off the gas pedal just a little bit here in the second half against Tesoro, as they only were able to get into the end zone for a couple of tubs, as a lot of the players like to call them, touchdowns tub. Whatever you want to call touchdown. There's so many names for touchdowns nowadays. I mean, by the time we're, 40 years old? God, that's such a long ways away. We don't even have to worry about that. We're young guys. It's fun to be young, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely fun to be young.
We got to use some of because this team finds the end zone. I can't even imagine what sort of coverage this team is going to get coming up in the next. I mean, Sean McGrew, this is a man that only carried the ball 5 times, 68 yards, and a touch. We're talking about you barely get the football at all, and you still make an impact. Sims carried the ball 9 times for 83 yards and 2 scores. That's a guy that we're going to have more of a household name in the coming years, as, in my mind, coming up next is going to be a 1-2 punch. For the Bosco Braves, all the enthusiasts out there, it's going to be McGrew most likely and Sims for the next couple of years, being a 1-2 punch. I think, in my mind, McGrew is more suited for goal line situations and to get the ball running the football. As Sims, sure, he had a lot of carries tonight and a couple scores, but he's more of a receiving back because he has that top-end speed that I haven't seen out of anyone before. Boy, Sims is so small and low to the ground, but his feet move like a couple turbine engines. They just do not stop running.
And that goes back to what we've been saying since we saw the emergence of if one of their backs goes down, they're not all that worried.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're really not all that worried just because of the depth that St. John Bosco has. I mean, the depth is what has made this team 12-0, 12 weeks into the season, and there's no doubt about that. And seeing what Clifford Sims was able to do here in the second half was special because not only is that something to look forward to in this postseason, but it's something to look forward to in years to come as all of these guys who are taking handoffs for the Braves, underclassmen.
Yeah, I'm going to love to see these Bosco Braves, not only in the rushing game, but also in the receiving game. They had a couple of fantastic performances after one half. Shea Fields with 6 catches, 92 yards, and 3 scores, which makes it 17 receiving touchdowns in only 12 weeks. And they have also, Shea Fields has... We're going to get the final word here with 92 receiving yards today. Coming into the contest, he after a 224-yard effort, that put him at a total of 1,244 yards. And after today's game, he lies only 40 yards short of breaking the all-time receiving record for a single season at the high school level that was set with 1,377. He is only 40 yards away from that, and also break the receiving touchdowns record in high school play with 15. He has 17 on the season. Shea Fields is a talent. That is the understatement of the year.
Well, there's a reason why he's going to USC, and a lot of people, including myself, kind of question how he's going to fare at the next level, just looking at his physical stature. I mean, he stands at about 6 even, about 175 pounds, a generous 175 pounds at that. But he is a speedster. There's no doubt that he knows how to run routes, he knows how to burn corners, and he knows how to slip tackles. And I think that's all you need as you want to continue to keep playing football. And not to get extremely too far down the road here, but all these high school kids for St. John Bosco breaking records, you got to think in the back of their minds is certainly
what are they going to do at college?
After college, I feel like these, maybe not the NFL. I mean, there's such a small percentage of high school players, even as talented as these kids, that are going to make it to the NFL. But you talk about a couple of talents here that we could see in the league. I mean, we saw Leon McFadden about 5 or 6 years ago, very similar to a guy like Jaleel Wadood. Now he's doing his thing in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns. Keith Price up at Washington. He's going to be in the NFL next season. And then you talk about a guy like Bryce Triggs, who's doing his thing at Cal, a fantastic receiver for the Braves a couple of seasons ago, a cousin of Shea Fields, doing his thing at Cal. He's probably going to make it to the NFL as well. So not only is Bosco becoming a place that produces NFL talent, but on this team alone, you have 15 guys with Division I scholarships. You almost never see that many guys on one team with all those offers. But sure enough, this team is littered with Division I offers, and certainly I think there's a chance that you could see some of these guys playing on Sundays eventually.
Yeah, put your tabs on Shea Fields, Jaleel Wadood. I don't know about Josh Rosen. He just has a little bit too much inconsistent play for me to believe that he's gonna be NFL material. But I do believe he's very good college material. And make sure to tune in tomorrow as we're gonna have the post-game report for the Bosco Braves and all the previews of the Pac-5 division and all of the CIF divisions. How about that? We're gonna give you not just the Pac-5 as we reach the Final Four, but all of the divisions here in the state of California. I do want to not just make it. I also want to clarify for tomorrow because I don't know if that's a high school record that Shea Fields just broke. It's hard to believe that he broke all the high school records. I mean, I know he beat perhaps Braves records. Yeah. He tied one last week. But Shea Fields, I mean, there's no questioning this. He's an all-pro talent. So the final score here for Veterans Memorial Stadium, I'll send it back to Chris for your final words, but 55-7. How about that? It's a final here for the round number 3 of the playoffs.
Boy, I mean, you talk about a fantastic game here tonight. St. John Bosco, 55-7 victorious tonight against the Tesoro Titans. 55-7 was the final here in round 2 of the Pac-5 playoffs. Should have a great matchup next week between St. John Bosco and Alemany. The game, as of right now, down at Alemany High School in Mission Hills, California, closer to San Diego if you're not too familiar with the location of Mission Hills. But as far as we know, we will be broadcasting the game, and you can catch that game right here only on Spreaker.com/National Sports. Thank you, each and every one of you, for tuning in here tonight. I do realize there was some problems as far as reception goes. I think there was a lot of cutting in and out. That's just because of our press box location today. We will not have those problems moving forward. We can assure you of that. We usually pretty spot on as far as technical goes, but we had a couple of problems cutting in and out tonight, so we do apologize for that, and hopefully we can get that resolved as the season goes along. But for Nick Rice, what are you looking for? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Looking forward to a fun Thanksgiving week off of school.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Make sure to drive home safely. Have a fantastic night and a great weekend. It's the last weekend before Thanksgiving, and just a couple weeks later, it's going to be Christmas time, holiday season. Final scores, the Braves 55 and the Titans 7. Just want to give some final stats. Burrow Lee does deserve some credit, our statistician for today, as Tesoro only they did indeed run more plays than the Braves did, but only picked up 154 yards today to the Bosco Braves 468. That is the final tally, a 4-to-1 ratio in favor of the Braves. Punts were definitely a norm for those Tesoro Titans. 8 punts, and they certainly could not get anything going on the offensive side of the football. We're going to get some final stats here. It was the Titans who held the ball for, how about that, 13 more minutes than the Braves, as it was all Titans holding the football. That's going to be the key for Alemany for this coming week. For the Braves and Alemany next Friday night, 7:30 Pacific and 11:30 Eastern or 10:30 Eastern time here on Spreaker.com. An affiliation of National Sports. Chris, your final words.
55-7 the final tonight between St. John Bosco and Tesoro High School. The season ends for the Titans in a tough one here at Veterans Memorial Stadium on the campus of Long Beach City College. For Nick Rice, for Adam Ferrister, for Andy Goodwin, for Travis Neff, for Burrow Lee, our statistician, for Matthew Atkinson making all of our broadcasts possible, and for the CIF Southern Section, my name's Chris Sylvester signing off. The final score here tonight, St. John Bosco victorious, moving to the semifinals once again, a 55-7 victory over the Titans of Tesoro High School. We'll see you next week at Alemany as the Braves take on the Warriors. Good night, everybody, and have a blessed weekend and a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.